Hola, chicos.
And then on the second page where it says physical examination, that's just what you conducted at the time.
Pero como ya saben, hoy estamos, bueno, no hoy, mientras esté andando el trial de Johnny Depp, vamos a estar viéndolo, al menos de aquí hasta las 5, que se supone que es la hora que entro yo aquí todos los días, pero bueno, terminé mi trabajo lo más rápido que pude para venir aquí y mirar con ustedes lo que está sucediendo en la corte. Y estaba tan emocionada que hasta se me olvidó poner el videito de entrada, o sea, wow. Pero bueno, voy a compartir pantalla de una vez para que veamos juntos y bueno, ya después vamos a entrar en lo que es la astrología, chicos.
That's documenting your plan for Mr. Depp going forward.
Correct.
Mr. Depp paid for this visit.
Yes.
When was the plan to start treatment of Mr. Depp?
After he completed his current film.
Dr. Kipper, do you recognize Kipper Exhibit 4?
Este es el médico
And what are the
de
what is Kipper Exhibit 4?
Johnny Depp.
A progress note dated June 11th, 2014.
And did you keep these notes in the normal course of business?
Yes.
And did you take these notes?
Yes.
And the notes are meant to be accurate, correct?
Yes.
What is you had mentioned it before, but what is polysubstance abuse?
Your Honor,
Poly is multiple.
you can pause. Thank you.
It takes a second for it to catch up.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you. Your Honor, I move to the admission of the defendant's exhibit 246.
246.
Hola, Sacred Norlax. Hey, apologize. I don't know if I pronounce your username right. Welcome. I hope you like. Bueno, no sé. Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English? Spanglish. Este canal es en español, pero bueno, a veces
It's the
se habla en
same
inglés.
Type of medical record that was just admitted of for 220.
Huh. Hi, Fortis. How are you? We're back.
you.
We're back
Just one moment.
today. I speak English, but I can understand some Spanish. Great. Awesome. Well, since you guys speak English, so I'm going to be speaking English for a little bit. We are in Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard court case, which is, I don't know. I'm enjoying it a
Understanding
lot.
Your
I don't know how you
Honor's,
guys feel
ruling on the last,
about
record. I think we'll
the Hollywood drama, but
we'll anticipate that the exhibit can come in.
All right.
but I'm
I'll take that as
enjoying
no
it.
objection. All right. 246 in evidence. Thank you.
Right now,
Thank you.
we're listening to
Multiple substance.
Johnny Depp's
Multiple substance.
doctor. He was treating him, and it looks like Johnny
And you
Depp
were gonna be
wanted
treating
some
Mr. Depp
help.
for multi-substance abuse, correct?
I was going to be treating Mr. Depp for opiate issues.
Oh, but I like it. You
On the
guys want to
bottom of the
speak?
first page where it
Okay,
says
so
impression,
si
what
quieren
was your
aprender
impression
español,
of
pues vamos a
Mr.
hablar
Depp at the
español
time?
aquí entre nosotros para
Where
ayudar
it says
aquí.
polysubstance abuse.
Yes.
¿Se escucha bien? Can you guys hear well?
And were these the
What's
drugs that
going on?
Mr. Depp was taking at the time, which is at the bottom of page 1 of Kipper 4?
Oh, by the way, Forrest,
sorry,
I
can you-
looked up the name
it's
of the
not
girl that
related
you told me
to
about.
The
Maurat,
first,
or
entry under
I'm
impression.
definitely not doing that.
It says, well, where is
No
it,
way.
what does it mean where it says dopaminergic imbalance with lithium 300 mg bid to be increased to 300 mg TID?
Those were medications that I had planned to use upon our treatment.
For all the medications that are in Kipper 4 under impression, those are medications you plan to use with Mr. Depp, is that correct?
That's correct.
And on the next page where it talks about opiate dependence,
Then why do you tell me I should look at it?
Current filming is completed in mid to late.
I guess
July.
that's what it takes to be famous in
Mr. Depp agrees
Twitch.
to undergo detoxification with clonidine, robaxin, bentyl, and anxiolytics. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry, but is that correct?
Yeah, you did a good job. That's what it says. Yes.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on her then. That's funny because celebrities with
And Mr. Depp
since
is
I
also
don't
gonna
know her,
undergo a sobriety
what
program.
else?
Is that correct?
Yes.
And it
Okay,
says to be
good.
regularly drug tested.
Gonna keep it
my
in mind
office.
then.
How regularly was he to be drug tested, Mr. Depp?
That was dependent upon his progress and my understanding of how he was doing.
And if he was progressing well, how often would Mr. Depp be drug tested? Okay, you can answer.
The answer is what I said. It would really depend, Adam, on how he was doing at the time and how he was progressing through his treatment.
Do you recall how many drug tests you gave Mr. Depp in 2014?
No.
You gave him at least one, correct?
Yes, I believe so. I'd have to check through my records.
Okay. And Deborah Lloyd was going to be Mr. Depp's nurse, correct?
Correct.
You can take down Kipper 4. And can you put up Kipper 5, please?
And Your Honor, we would move into evidence Plaintiff Exhibit 40.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 40.
No, like this recorded testimonies can be a little bit boring, but it's okay. We just had this morning, we had 3 other testimonies. One from a longtime friend of Johnny Depp's, which she was disqualified because
My understanding you're putting in.
she saw some clips from the trial, so she was disqualified.
We have redacted portions of it. Yeah.
And before that, we had the first testimony was the personal assistant of Amber Heard's for like 3 years or something. And she hates Amber. I mean, she didn't say it, but you could tell that she does not like her. She said that Amber would pay her really poorly, like only $25 an hour, and she had to do like all this work, and she was very disrespectful and abusive verbally. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad,
Your
like
Honor,
for her.
I would just have to look to make. I'm generally okay with it. I'd have to, with 123 pages, and then there's certain redactions. I just would need to see
All right.
what was redacted. I'm
Right.
generally okay with.
All right,
omission
so
of the documents.
so I'll iterate, but with reservation for redactions that need to be made.
Está súper problemático hoy con. Debo decir que esta tarde no ha sido muy buena para Johnny pues como que le quieren descualificar. Bueno, primero su amiga pues quedó descalificada como testigo, bye. Y ahora pues se están poniendo bastantes problemas en el testimonio del doctor.
Publishing it, but I would ask that they not publish it and just let the video play as he testifies to it, and then we can discuss what needs to be.
Is that okay?
Given the lack of agreement, confirmed agreement on the redactions, Your Honor, I think that's
Okay,
fine. We should
sure.
just play the video.
Do that.
Thank you.
And just so you know, I've been pulling some cards after this is over, of course. I'll be pulling some tarot cards, I believe so. I like to play around to see which deck it's calling my attention. So
Kipper
if that's
5
something
is a
that you
long
will enjoy,
document.
then stick
Um,
around.
Came out of your files. Do you recognize the document?
Yes.
What is Kipper 5?
It's a progress note dated the 12th of June, 2014.
So this exhibit, Kipper 5, which I will refer to throughout the your deposition, is a multi-page document that is progress notes throughout from multiple dates that that came out of your files. Do you know who created these progress notes?
I created these progress notes.
It wasn't Miss Lloyd.
No, these are my notes.
Okay. All right. And you kept the notes in the normal course of business?
Yes.
And again, the notes are meant to be accurate?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back. So there's 6/13/14, that is your notes.
Correct.
Okay. It says, met with patient in his apartment. Patient continued to be pleasant and cooperative. He stated that he initially started taking opiates after some dental work and became dependent on them. You recall that conversation with Mr. Depp?
Yes, those are my notes.
Okay. And it's also accurate that patient is fearful of coming off of opiates but knows what he needs to do?
Yes, that reflects the conversation.
Es muy curioso
Okay.
como
Patient also expressed some emotional trauma which causes him depression and anxiety.
Also true.
And if we go to
las drogas más adictivas son drogas
exhibit
prescribidas por los doctores.
These are the medications that Mr. Depp's assistant gave to you?
Correct.
And going down, it's accurate where it states that patient states he currently takes oxycodone 50 mg BID and oxycodone 30 mg at bedtime?
Yes, that's correct.
Drogas prescribidas por los doctores, ni siquiera son ilegales. ¿Dónde están los verdaderos drug dealers? Pfizer,
And we're going to go to Kipper 60.
uno de los grandes.
On Kipper Exhibit 5, the notes for 6/22/14. This is again a note that you prepared. Is this a note that you prepared, Dr. Kipper?
I'm reviewing this.
Okay, sorry. Okay. You see where it says in the middle, patient spoke about his difficult childhood and current mood swings.
Yes.
What did Mr. Depp tell you about his mood swings?
That he had evanescent changes in his mood from good to bad.
And did he give any more information about what a bad mood would be?
You know, it was implied that it would be depression, sadness.
Poor Johnny. Nah.
That was not. I don't remember him saying.
And this note also said that he'd been depressed for the past 3 days. Right above where we just looked.
Yes.
Wow.
And Alex, keep this up, but put out Kipper Exhibit 6, please.
Your Honor, we would move into evidence Depp Exhibit 42.
Bueno, también escuchamos a la psicóloga, a la que les dio terapia de pareja a los dos, de couples therapy person, the
This is
lady.
another redacted document. council.
She basically said it was an abusive relationship. Like both of them were aggressive to each
So
other.
mine's not redacted
But
yet.
definitely Heather. I don't know why I call her
We
Heather.
have a redacted copy,
Amber.
which we can provide. Also, I believe this is unobjected to on our exhibit list.
Definitely Amber has like a
Pending redaction.
big temper.
Well, I'd have, the copy we had didn't have redactions, so I'm not sure. Non-redacted, I'm happy to have it included, but I would need to see the redactions.
Well, I'll reserve on redactions then, as we did with 40, okay? So 42 in with redaction
Understood, Your Honor.
decisions, okay.
Pero Amber de por sí como que es la que inicia las peleas, ¿no? She's the one to initiate the fighting. She just doesn't like that he doesn't follow the fighting, you know? He just leaves the room, or he just gets like locks himself in the room when she gets like all crazy.
Dr. Kipper, do you recognize Kipper Exhibit 6?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a summary of the treatment and encounter with Mr. Depp from June 22nd to June 24th of 2014.
And you keep these notes in the normal course of business, correct?
Yes.
And again, they're meant to be accurate, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And these notes reflect that you saw Mr. Depp in Boston again?
Correct.
And in the second paragraph, you write, we discussed the need for compliance with his medications. We also discussed his nicotine habit and agreed we would address this when we completed the opiate and benzo detoxification.
Eso sí.
Depp's filming will be completed around mid-July. And we discussed
Siempre
the planned
está
detoxification.
fumando. O sea, no hay una foto donde Johnny Depp no esté fumando cigarrillo.
The anticipated duration is between 10 to 14 days, and he will be completely isolated without any professional or personal obligations. Does this reflect the discussion you had with Mr. Depp?
Yes, it does.
And you also discussed that Mr. Depp understands that a nurse, Debbie Lloyd, will assist me with this program, and I will initiate this withdrawal and supervise daily, visiting him at the end of his treatment to design the next steps in his therapy. And this protracted therapy will include a 12-step private counseling and personal psychotherapy and couples therapy with his fiance, Amber. Both are in agreement to this plan. Does that reflect the conversation you had with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And was misheard at this conversation as well?
I don't remember, but the last sentence implies that both were in agreement. So it's very possible that she was, but I honestly can't remember.
And during this detoxification, who is going to be with Mr. Depp at his home in the Caribbean islands?
His fiancee, Amber, and the nurse, Debbie Lloyd, and whatever staff members he had.
Where was Miss Lloyd going to be each day in the Caribbean islands?
She was going to be on his property in a separate area.
And who was administering the medications to Mr. Depp?
Miss Lloyd was giving these medications and supervising that, and there were periods of time at night during the evening, early morning that Miss Hurd was also helping.
And would there be times where Miss Hurd was administering the medications to Mr. Depp without Miss Lloyd being present?
Correct. Under supervision, but without being present.
And when you say under supervision, what do you mean by that?
That Miss Lloyd would give Hurd the direction on how to provide these medications.
It wasn't necessarily going to be physically present there when the medications were delivered to Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Depp admitted to you that there may be traces of cocaine since he'd been using the substance prior to the initiation of this program, correct? Is this note correct, what you write here in Kipper 6, that Mr. Depp admitted there may be traces of cocaine?
Ay, Dios. Y cocaína, todo el mundo hace cocaína al parecer, you know, like
Can you?
everyone does coke.
Let's
like,
just go to
it's nothing,
back
right?
to Exhibit 5. And if we go to,
Pues en estos círculos de, de personas. Aunque sí, yo he notado que la cocaína es como muy normal, al menos aquí en los Estados Unidos. Yo personalmente no la hago, pero es como que, no sé, ya es como fumarse un porro, ¿no?
you see
Como
the note
cualquier
of
otra
6/24/14 at 1200.
cosa que haces por
Yes.
diversión.
Is 1200 the time?
Yes,
And it said, are these your notes again?
these are my notes.
Dr. Kipper, these 18 pages came from your production, and I'll represent to you that there were no drug tests that I saw for 2014 or 2015 for Mr. Depp. You know why that is?
The only thing I can, the answer is no, I don't understand that. We had a flood in our office in 2014 October. The office above us flooded our office and the basement, where we kept certain records. But I'm not sure which records relating to Mr. Depp have been involved in that. But other than that,
Would drug tests for Mr. Depp for 2014 and 2015, would those also be kept electronically?
no.
Who did you work with to conduct the drug tests of Mr. Depp?
Yes, I ordered the drug test.
And what company did you work with?
It appears that it's MD Lab. That's the lab we use.
And the drug tests that we do have, they came from your files, correct?
Correct.
And they're meant to be accurate, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that drug tests that you took of Mr. Depp in the 2016 through 2019 period showed Mr. Depp testing positive for cocaine, correct? Drug test showed Mr. Depp being positive for cocaine, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And for THC, Mr. Depp was also positive for THC, correct?
Correct.
And for benzo, is that correct?
The answer is yes. I'm looking for benzo. The answer would be correct because he was maintained on benzodiazepine.
How long was Mr. Depp on benzodiazepine?
He was on benzodiazepines pretty much throughout our relationship.
Was it one of the objectives to get him off of benzodiazepine?
It was, and we actually used a medication to accomplish that initially.
More medication.
We tolerate that medication very well. Not everyone does. So he was put back on his benzo.
On page 3 of Exhibit
Hola
7,
Luis.
what's being shown here
¿Qué hago?
where it starts with cocaine,
Estoy aquí
metabolites.
viendo con ustedes el
This is
caso de la demanda de Johnny Depp contra su ex esposa
listing of
Amber Heard. Ahorita mismo
substances
estamos escuchando a el
with
doctor
reference
de Johnny
to
Depp,
ranges.
porque bueno, pues una de las alegaciones de Amber es que
If you scroll
Johnny
down,
Depp
you'll
es un
see
adicto a las drogas y que tiene un
specific
problema muy grande de
analysis
alcoholismo.
related
Y
to
bueno,
that.
que pues cuando él se
And on
emborracha
page
y se hace
4,
drogas y todo
Robert
eso,
Wells
se
is the name for Mr.
enloquece
Depp, is that correct?
y le pega y bueno, la abusa de todo tipo de maneras.
Yes, correct.
Entonces, bueno, aquí estamos escuchando el
And this-
testimonio del doctor,
this
viendo
is
si
a
de verdad
drug
Johnny
test
Depp tiene
for
un problema
11/21/16,
tan grave de drogas.
And what is it showing Mr. Depp positive for? What drug?
Positive for cocaine, amphetamines, and benzodiazepines.
And on page
Ahora, es
5,
curioso porque Ella
this is
también
a
hace
test,
todo
drug
tipo de
test
drogas.
for
De
November
hecho, fue
21st,
muy
2016,
curioso en
correct?
el testimonio pasado que fue de una amiga de Johnny Depp por mucho
And
tiempo. Ella
it's showing,
testificó
what
que
drugs is it showing Mr. Depp
durante
was
una
positive for?
fiesta de celebración de una
Shows
película,
cocaine,
Amber fue la que le ofreció a ella
benzodiazepines,
éxtasis. Bueno, lo llaman de una forma
cannabinoids,
diferente,
and
pero
amphetamine.
por lo que entendí, pues es éxtasis. Y bueno, fue la primera vez que ella trató éxtasis. De hecho, fue Amber y las amigas de Amber que le ofrecieron y le ayudaron a tener su primera experiencia con el éxtasis. Lo que me pareció curioso porque con Johnny Depp son 17 años de amistad.
And again, you did take drug tests were
Pero
taken
bueno,
of Mr. Depp
whatever.
in 2014 and 2015,
La
correct?
descalificaron a ella porque había visto partecitas del caso en
Now,
el
you
media y
mentioned
eso no se puede
before,
si eres testigo. Entonces la
and the note said that
descalificaron.
the plan was for Mr. Depp to detox on his island in the Bahamas. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And were you going to be going to the island at any point? Were you planning to?
Yes.
Was it going to be throughout Mr. Depp's entire detoxification, or when were you planning on being at the island?
I was planning to see him and did see him towards the beginning as we initiated.
A ver, bien, buen día. Hoy cada cosa en este mundo. Sí, yo sé. La verdad es que lo disfruto, no sé, creo que
Now, on
tengo
8
algo de abogada por
8/14,
dentro,
it says,
entonces
arrived on island today.
es
Plan
interesante
for
para mí
patient to
escuchar
continue
estas
to take
cosas.
routine meds
Pero
through
ahorita más
tomorrow
tarde
at
vamos a tener
HS.
unas
At that time, he will not
lecturitas
take his
con
oxycodone
tarot,
and
así
detox
que bueno, si
medications will be
te quedas por
initiated. You
acá o
see
si
that?
regresas
Yes,
Is
cuando
that
se
you
acabe
arriving
esto,
at the
¿no?
island,
Se acaba a las
or
5.
Miss Lloyd arriving at the island?
that's Miss Lloyd.
So
Y ahí
that-
sí
so
ya
that
vamos a hablar de
8/14
astrología
note is
y
her
de
note,
todo
correct?
lo que nos
So some of these
interesa.
notes are hers and some of these notes are yours.
These notes going forward are her notes, appear to be her notes.
Okay. What type of system were you putting these notes into?
I don't understand your question.
The notes just appear to be continuous, and you said some are your notes and some are her notes. I'm trying to understand how they got cut together.
Because I put all of his treatment notes together via one list.
Would Miss Lloyd type these notes, or were they handwritten?
She would type these notes.
And then who put them all together?
I did.
Okay. You see 8, 9, 14, patient expressed fears of never feeling normal without his drugs. See that?
I see that.
Was that, did Mr. Depp ever express that to you?
Yes, in some form, he discussed that with me.
Qué lástima, ¿no? No poder ser uno mismo, no poderse sentirse bien si uno no está consumiendo algo, ya sea alcohol o marihuana o cocaína o no sé. Muy triste porque pues se supone que estas personas lo tienen todo, ¿no? O sea, fama, dinero, pero vea, es que por eso me gusta como ver un poquito detrás de lo que es las personas y sobre todo lo que son los celebrities, porque yo personalmente nunca me había ni siquiera preguntado si Johnny Depp tenía hijos o si tenía una hermana o cierto como que una mamá, o sea, es muy curioso porque es como que uno solo ve un aspecto y como que entrar y conocerlos más a profundidad siento que nos ayuda a ser más humanos.
Yes, I see that.
Okay, so is it accurate that you arrived at Mr. Depp's Island on August 12th, 2014?
Ay, bueno, hasta luego. Y sí, definitivamente, todo se aprende, chicos.
Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
Did you go to assess Mr. Depp on August 15th, 2014, according to these notes?
That's correct.
And by the way, fiance is misheard in these notes, correct?
Yes,
Claro,
And patient is Mr. Depp, correct?
claro.
correct.
and this is at Kipper 77 on Kipper 5. Text from fiance, the patient is upset and irritable. MD and RN went to assess patient. Is that accurate that you came to see Mr. Depp at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yes,
And after receiving a text from Ms. Heard?
correct.
And Mr. Depp, the note says he being Mr. Depp, states he had a fight with fiance and is
Tienes toda la razón, Luis. Toda la razón. No importa cuánto dinero
I can't
tengas,
remember
cuántos
that conversation,
seguidores
but I
tengas.
do know that he was struggling at that point.
And how was he
Si no
struggling?
encontramos esa
And he
llama
was
dentro de
frustrated,
nosotros,
he was uncomfortable physically.
Dr. Kipper, this is a email. Well, do you recognize this document?
I do.
And what is Kipper 8?
This is an email that I sent to his sister, Christy.
Christy Dombrowski is Mr. Depp's sister.
Correct.
And you sent this email to Ms. Dombrowski on August 18th at 7:54 a.m., correct?
Correct.
This email was shortly after you had met with Mr. Depp in the note we just discussed, correct? Oh, 7:54 Pacific. So it was sometime in the morning in the Bahamas, correct?
I guess I don't have that calculated in front of me.
It's either 3 or 4 hours ahead. So it's either 10:54, maybe it's 11:54 in the morning.
Correct. I guess that's right, and I assume that's right.
Okay. And you wrote this, and why did you write this email to Ms. Dombrowski?
We were planning to transition back to Los Angeles. We had completed the initial phase of his detoxification, and I wanted to update her as to my impressions on how he was doing and how we would proceed going forward.
And you wrote this to Ms. Dombrowski because you were concerned about Mr. Depp, is that correct?
I wrote this so that she was aware of where we were in the process of his treatment.
You wrote this after he had an incident with Ms. Heard, correct?
I did not witness the incident. I wrote this after we were called to see him because there was an alleged incident, but he clearly was uncomfortable at that time when we came to see him. And again, we were getting ready to transition off of the island, and I wanted Christy to have a clear understanding of where we were at that time.
Let me pause. I was going to move.
And then at 12:30,
pause.
I was gonna move the admission of defendants exhibit 268.
And Your Honor, we're going to have a substantial hearsay and speculation objection to this exhibit. This is a communication from Dr. Kipper to a third party. It's hearsay from start to finish and not with any exception, to say nothing of the fact that it contains speculation.
I think there are certain hearsay in the first paragraph and in the third on the second page, but the rest of it is Dr. Kipper's impressions of Mr. Depp.
It's not a court statement offered for truth, Your Honor. It's
Alright.
hearsay.
I'm going to sustain this to hearsay, okay?
Okay, thank you, Aaron.
you and Ms. Lloyd met with Mr. Depp.
Yes, according to these notes, yes.
And do you know, was this now in the Bahamas or was this back in Los Angeles?
I need to go back to the date, not the time. Can you scroll up? Thank you.
8/20/14.
Necesito
And
cremita. I'll be right
I'm
back.
just looking at my calendar. Yes, we were now back in Los Angeles.
And in the notes on 12:30 on August 20th, Mr. Depp stated he was done with the process and no longer wanted MD and RN services. You see that?
Yes.
You recall Mr. Depp telling you that?
Yeah.
And you recall Mr. Depp saying that there was tension between him and Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Was the plan for Ms. Heard to take a few days for herself?
Yes.
And Mr. Depp is it true that Mr. Depp wanted to stop taking all the medications you were providing him?
Yes, that's reflected in this note.
Ay, Dios mío.
Now you mentioned you had you did text with Mr. Depp on occasion, correct?
I believe so, but I really can't remember any specific time or message that I sent it.
Dr. Kipper, Mr. Depp has produced a number of texts in this litigation between you and him, and they're in this chart here. We're not going to go through all of them, I promise you. But I want to ask you about a few of them, and we'll do this kind of throughout the deposition. Okay.
Se supone que esto va a seguir mañana, ¿no? Porque está largo el video de este testimonio.
On 8/21/2014, it says Dr. David Kipper, this 310 phone number, was that your phone number at the time?
Yes.
And this is a text from you that says to Mr. Depp, it says, glad you're better today. Respect you as much as I love you. You're impossible not to love, but an easier job not to respect. You're making my job a pleasure and honor and a few sleepless nights. Stop firing me. I know what I'm doing. You recall sending that text to Mr. Depp?
Yes.
How long have you been working with Mr. Depp at this point? As of August 21st, 2014.
And can you define by working with him? Are you talking about specifically the detox, or are you talking about our initial meeting?
I believe if you go with the
Pause it
initial
for 1
meeting,
second.
how many months?
Your Honor, as I mentioned in the deposition, Defendant's Exhibit 1063 is a long list of text messages between Dr. Kipper and Mr. Depp, a number of which are going to be testified to today or Monday. And I would just ask that the ones that they testify to, we would provide in a redacted form, which would just be just the text that they're testifying to. And it would be for a number throughout. I can get up each time, but I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that.
Your Honor, I think we're going to have to maintain a hearsay objection. It's a text by text issue, whether it falls within any exception. So we're not going to be able to agree that the entire document comes in. It's possible that some may come in, but I think that's going to be something that needs to be worked out between counsel afterwards.
So we can reserve it. He's still going to testify to it because we've already gone.
Right, I mean,
Understood, Your Honor. The testimony can come in, but that doesn't mean the document itself is admissible.
I can reserve on 1063 and we can figure out the redactions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Happened.
So about 4 months.
Okay, and you write stop firing me. In that 4 months, how many times had Mr. Depp tried to fire you?
That was, I believe that was the first time. And again, this was in reference to him not wanting to proceed and not wanting our help. This is actually, I'm sorry, this is the second time. Because the first time was on the island. Just as we were getting ready to leave, that he did not want to proceed. He didn't think he could do it. That changed after a conversation. He was back on board. And this came from, I think, followed that incident that we just referred to in the notes, where we were asked to come and visit with him. And where he didn't want to proceed. And again, at the end of that visit, he was back on board.
O sea, que lo quiso despedir muchas veces. Bueno, debe ser duro salir de una adicción a las drogas, ¿no? O bueno, a cualquier cosa. Debe ser difícil, la verdad. Yo no, por mi parte no tengo como una personalidad adictiva. Eso.
Now,
Pero
on August 24th, 2014,
sí,
shows a text
suena
when it
difícil,
shows
suena
him, that's
difícil.
Mr. Depp, to you, David Kipper. And Mr. Depp wrote, forgot to tell you, had a hopefully very positive and free of ego squawk with Amber last night that went very well, ... And then I shot a few Negroes in a club on Sunset Boulevard. So far, so good, ... Do you recall this text from Mr. Depp?
No.
Was that Mr. Depp's typical language?
Again, I don't recall this specific email, so that may be.
Bueno, Johnny Depp sí tiene una bocaza, o sea, sí, se expresa de una manera un poco fuerte.
Kipper 10 is
Ahora,
10. You recognize
eso
this document?
significa que es un abusador y que le pega a las mujeres y abusa sexualmente y bueno, eso ya es otra cosa, pero no sé, como buen Géminis habla mucho y como dicen por ahí, el muez muere por la boca y sí, a veces tiene como un humor muy pesado, eso sí es lo que he visto de acuerdo a lo que he escuchado de sus amigos, pues de su amigo, por ejemplo, ayer que fue un testimonio bien entretenido. Pues sí, la verdad es que sí, tiene un humor bastante oscuro, a veces se
Let me ask you this, do
expresa
you
de una
recall
manera
Powers
fuerte
at iCloud.com
que puede ser
was hers
ofensiva,
email
la verdad, sí.
address?
I assume that by looking at this document.
Exhibit 5 at Kipper 101 at 9/22/14 at 1:25. You see it says Arn received text from patient stating that he had been in an argument with fiance and she had a quote nasty freak out and would like nurse to give him some quote some fucking knockout yum yum. Arn instructed patient to take PRN Neurotin 300 mg, PRN and Seroquel 50 mg, and the RN was on her way. You see that?
Yes,
Okay. And this is a note from Ms. Lloyd.
correct.
And then it says at 3:30, upon arriving at the home, patient was sitting in kitchen with scraped and bloody knuckles on our hand, meaning his right hand, correct? Patient stated he punched whiteboard in kitchen after fight. Patient stated he'd been texting his friend explaining why he didn't show up to play music, and fiance got upset he was not giving her enough support, and the fight escalated from there. Called the MD at 1:45 and instructed to give a staff order of Ambien 10 mg to help patient get to sleep as he has an early work day. Do you recall Ms. Lloyd telling you about her visiting Mr. Depp and him having bloody knuckles and a scraped hand?
Specifics, I'm reading the note you're reading, and yes, I remember there was an incident.
And an incident where Mr. Depp had scraped and bloody knuckles on his hand?
As indicated in the note, yes. I did not see bloody knuckles. I did not see a punched board. This was a communication that I received through the notes from this board.
And do you recall if you had it does say you recall, do you recall if you had a conversation with Ms. Lloyd about?
Yes, I recall having spoken about there had been an incident. I don't recall the specifics of that conversation.
Okay. On Kipper 5 at 10, the date of 10/14, I'll show you there, which is on Kipper 110 of Kipper 5. And then going down to 1930, it says patient finished filming and was extremely agitated leaving the set. Patient kicked in the door of his trailer and refused to speak to director. Patient was verbally aggressive to another person on the set for no apparent reason. Per MD, patient take Xanax 2 milligrams to reduce his agitation at this time. You recall that, Dr. Kipper?
I do remember this entry, yes.
You remember being told that Mr. Depp kicked in a door of his trailer and refused to speak to his director, correct?
I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember there was some disagreement between Mr. Depp and the director.
And where it says per MD, patient is to take Xanax 2 milligrams to reduce his agitation at this time. Is that an increase of Xanax that he was to receive?
Yes.
And you see at 10:15 at 6:45, it says patient awake and states he slept from 2200 to 4:30. Patient continues to be agitated about work and is verbalizing having desires to escape with drugs. You recall from this note?
Es curioso porque yo creería que uno siendo actor
Do you recall
o
Miss Lloyd telling
actriz,
you this about Mr. Depp?
uno nunca quisiera dejar ese trabajo, o sea, se ve como tan divertido. Pero sí debo admitir por experiencia de estar en el set, es bastante la presión, la verdad. O sea,
And is
es
that
como que el
reflected in the
glamour
note of
solo está
8:45?
afuera.
MD informed him
Detrás de
declining,
bambalinas
agitated, he's on his
son horas y horas de
way to
trabajo,
assess patient.
mucha
Can you-
incomodidad a veces,
Can you
dependiendo. Por
show me
ejemplo,
that
si tienes
note?
que tener
Yeah,
mucho
right under-
maquillaje
here,
encima o cosas
8:45.
así.
Oh, okay.
The note's accurate, that MD informed of patient's state of mind and continued agitated. He is on his way to assess patient.
Yes.
And then at 12:30, as patient had fallen asleep and is now awake talking with MD, it has been decided patient is under too much stress as it would be best for him to stay home and rest today. You see that?
Yes.
You recall having a conversation with Mr. Depp about his stress?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall anything that Mr. Depp told you? Okay.
I remember he was very upset. I don't remember the specifics of that conversation, but I remember he was upset.
And how was Mr. Depp displaying that he was very upset?
He expressed himself very well, that he and the director had some misunderstanding and that he was upset about it.
Was Mr. Depp yelling?
No,
Was he doing anything to display his being upset other than his words?
just his words.
You don't doubt the accuracy of this note, though, do you?
I can say that the note was written and I believe it was good reporting. I trusted my nurses that they would report what they were told. Not for the opiates.
Not for the opiates, is that what you said?
Correct.
More positive for cocaine, for instance?
Yes.
Now, on November 17th, 2014, in 2014, Mr. Depp texted you and said, I have been to see Amber downtown. Yeah, interesting to say the least. Wow. Anyway, I'm still awake and don't foresee slumber arriving anytime soon to this broken instrument of a squash situated atop my shoulders. I would love to speak whenever you get a minute, dear David. Though honestly, if I were you, Debbie and or Aaron, I would, capital letters, run for the fucking hills, 3 exclamation points. I love you, Doc, ... Cannot thank you enough for all you've done, not only for me and my poor pack of wolves and my sweet, capital letters, fucking brave Mikey, ... These are the things that remind us that life should be a fucking gas. I'm waist deep in big muddy here, ... Hit me when you're drunk, ... It'll be far less boring. Love you long time, brother, ... And of course, the beautiful and luminous Chanel, ... And by now, 8'6" Sam, exclamation points. Mucho, mucho, ... From those of us who are not as others, X, JD. You recall this text from Mr. Depp?
No, I don't. But clearly I see that I received that text.
Esos text messages de Johnny sí son
Alex, can you put up,
otro
April
nivel,
13, please?
otro nivel.
Do you recognize, Dr. Kipper, this email chain between you and Colin Cowan?
I don't remember it, but I'm refreshing myself with what you're showing me.
Who is Colin Cowan?
He's a psychologist that I had referred Amber to see.
Is there any, Dr. Kipper, are there any ethical rules to report reports of violence if you were to be told of violence?
If I were to see the violence, I would be obligated to make some reporting. I never saw any violence.
And you didn't report either Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard, correct? Because you didn't see, your testimony is you didn't see any violence between Ms. Heard or Mr. Depp, correct?
We never saw violence between the two of them.
You heard reports, but never saw it. You never saw it, is your testimony.
Correct.
Dr. Kipper, do you recognize Kipper 14, which it looks like is an email between you and Alan Blaustein?
Yes, I recognize this.
Okay. And who is Alan Blaustein?
Alan Blaustein is the psychiatrist that I referred Mr. Depp to.
And when you wrote this email as of March 1st, 2015, was it your understanding that Mr. Depp was in Australia at the time?
Yes.
At some point, you flew to Australia, is that correct, in this March 2015 timeframe?
Yes.
Was that were you always planning to fly to Australia to visit with Mr. Depp in March of 2015?
No, I hadn't planned on it.
What made you fly to Australia?
He had wanted to see me. He had just wanted to check in. He wanted my company at that point.
He being Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Do you know when you arrived in Australia?
No, I don't. I can't recall.
Miss Lloyd had gone with Mr. Depp to Australia?
Yes.
She wasn't staying with Mr. Depp, correct?
No, she was not.
You know how far away Miss Lloyd was from Mr. Depp in terms of time to get from where she was staying to Mr. Depp's house?
I would guesstimate somewhere between 20 minutes to 30 minutes.
And when you went to Australia, how far away were you from Mr. Depp in terms of time?
Exactly the same.
Were you and Miss Lloyd in the same hotel?
Yes. Actually, that isn't true. I was in a hotel around the corner from where the nurses were staying.
And in Kipper 5, at Kipper 157, you see this note for 3/7/15 at 11:30. 11:30, it says, MD received a text message from client that he had been arguing with wife and that he had cut his finger. According to patient, his assistant and security were on their way to pick him up. Do you see that?
Yes.
Wow.
And whose note is this?
Yo ni sabía que algo estaba a punto de pasar.
Okay. And is this note accurate?
Yes. It's accurate.
Okay. Going back to Kipper 9. Un moment.
Es muy curioso que ella es la que dice que él es abusivo y que le causaba todas estas injuries, ¿no? Todas estas heridas y cuando él es el que se le mocharon un dedito.
At Kipper 7, At Depp 7790
Y por ahí hay
shows
fotos,
a
¿no? Que
text
muestran
from
que,
Mr.
oh,
Depp to
que le
you
rompió por
on March
aquí, que
7th,
le rajó
2015,
por acá, en la cara.
5 p.m. And it says, "Hi, fucked man, had another one. I cannot live like this. She is as full of shit as a Christmas goose. I'm done. No more," all capital letters, 3 exclamation points. The constant insults, the demeaning, belittling, most heartbreaking spew that is only released from a malicious, evil, and vindictive cunt, 5 exclamation points. But you know what? 2 question marks, capital letters, far more hurtful than her venomous and degrading, endless, quote, educational ranting, ... 3 question marks. It's her hideously and purposefully hurtful tirades and her goddamn shocking treatment of the man she was meant to love above all, ... Here's the real deal, mate, ... Her obsession with herself, 2 question marks. It is far more important, ... She is, capital letters, so fucking ambitious, 3 exclamation points.
Marte en
She's so desperate for
Capricornio.
success and fame, ... That's
Yeah.
probably why I was acquired, mate, ... 2 exclamation points. Although she has capitalized hammered me with what a sad old man has been, I am, 3 dots. Cowan has done me the most cruel of favors, ... I'm so very sad, ... I cut the top of my middle finger off, ... What should I do? Exclamation point, 2 question marks. Except, of course, go to a hospital, ... I'm so embarrassed for jumping into anything with her, ... Capitalize, fuck the world, 3 exclamation points, JD. Here's all this text from Mr. Depp.
Wow.
I don't recall the text,
Wow,
but I
wow.
do recall him reaching out after this incident.
Is this text a typical type of text you would receive?
In retrospect and in reading this, no, I think it reflected the fact that he was injured.
Right, and Mr. Depp told you in the text, I cut the top of my middle finger off, correct?
That's what it says.
And then you responded, call me. You see that? That's the next text.
Yes.
And did Mr. Depp call you?
I can't recall if he called me, but I know that I went to the residence.
And did you go with Miss Lloyd?
Yes.
And back to Kipper 5 at 1300, it says on March 7th, 2015, patient was having a hard time leaving the house, so security suggested the MD and RN go to house to see patient. Upon arrival to house, patient was sitting in car ready to leave. MD assessed patient's finger and will spend more time with patient at the location he's being moved to. So did you see Mr. Depp in the house?
Yeah, I saw Mr. Depp outside the house in the car.
Okay. So this note is accurate, correct?
Yes.
Was Mr. Depp intoxicated when you saw him?
I don't.
Was Mr. Depp coherent?
Yes, quite.
He was quite coherent?
Yes.
What do you recall him saying to you?
I don't recall the conversation specifically, but part of his finger was missing.
O sea que no estaba borracho en ese
Okay.
momento, ¿no?
You said he was quite coherent, so it sounds like you have memories of what he was saying. What do you recall him saying?
I don't recall what he said. I remember that he was very clear speaking to me.
Okay. What did he, other than his finger, what did he look like?
He looked like someone who just had part of his finger.
Anything, what did the rest of his hands and arms look like?
Nothing unusual.
What did the house look like?
The house was a mess.
Anything in ours you can describe about the house?
There were things on the floor. There were things that had been thrown around. It looked like there were just things were out of order in that house.
What rooms did you see? What rooms did you look at in the house?
I was in the kitchen, and I believe I went downstairs. I don't really remember. I saw it was more of the same. That things looked out of place.
Did it look like there was painting on the wall? Someone had written things on the wall?
No, I do. It did look to me like there was blood on the wall, not an actual painting.
Así porque Amber dijo que él había escrito algo con la sangre que salía de su dedo.
15 minutes.
And what were you doing in the house?
I wanted to see what happened. I was trying to figure out what happened.
Did you talk to Miss Heard?
I did.
Or what did Miss Heard say?
Again, I can't recall specifics other than they had a fight. And the specifics beyond that, I don't remember.
Before seeing Mr. Depp that day, when had you seen Mr. Depp previously?
I don't remember.
You know if it was the day before?
I can't remember.
Do you remember if this was the first time you saw Mr. Depp since your arrival in Australia?
Again, I can't remember.
Dr. Kipper, I'm showing you what's been marked as Kipper 15. And my question is, do you recognize this email?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And it's an email, and you told Miss Lisa Bean to please print for the chart. See that at the top?
Yes,
So that it was being printed for Mr. Depp's chart, is that correct?
correct.
And Raja Sahani emailed you, you see that?
Yes.
And he writes, "Thank you for your time, David. Attached is a copy of my notes for you to use as necessary. Robert Wells." And Robert Wells is Mr. Depp, correct?
Right.
And this was from March 8th, 2015, correct?
Yes.
Is it accurate that his heavily contaminated hand and fingers with third priming?
I was going to move for the admission of defendants exhibit 370.
370.
370.
Just
Bueno.
one moment, Your Honor.
Bueno, hasta el momento eso de que Johnny Depp escribió con el dedo, la sangre de su dedo en la pared y esto, pues no, o sea, que de pronto sí había sangre en la pared, pero no, nada escrito, porque bueno, creo que él había, no sé exactamente, no recuerdo qué exactamente fue lo
And, Your
que
Honor,
se
we
dijo
would,
que él escribió en la pared,
Your
pero
Honor, we would maintain
era una
our
palabra.
objections on grounds of hearsay
And your
and the other objections asserted in our objections to the exhibits. This is an email communication between two non-parties to this case. It's hearsay. It's not within any exception, certainly not within the medical exception, and it's not admissible.
I think it is in the medical exception because it's from one doctor to another doctor to treat.
Hi, being cool, welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English?
That's accurate.
Is there anything other than the coherent here that you find that's inaccurate?
Bueno, la verdad es que sí le están poniendo
Seems
muchos
accurate.
peros a este testimonio, lo cual,
And when you saw Miss Heard at the house in this March 7th, 2015 timeframe, did she seem like she was on, was she coherent?
She was coherent.
que ya,
Dr. Kipper, do you recall seeing Kipper 16 from the Gold Coast University Hospital?
Yes, I do.
And
English and I can't Spanish. All
when you
right.
recall seeing this
Well,
this
this
time
channel
on
is
the
mainly
15 or
mainly in
around then?
Spanish, but I'll
It was
definitely
around then. This was the emergency
can
room
speak English
doctor
whenever
that saw him, and then he gave
it's
him
necessary.
temporary
Today we're
care,
watching the
Mhm.
court
and then he was
case
referred
between
to- Mr.
Johnny
Depp was
Depp
referred to the
and
other
Amber
doctor
Heard.
that we spoke of before this, who was the surgeon.
until it's finished. It's gonna be over in like
Did you
10,
talk to this
15
this
minutes.
doctor who wrote this note?
and then we get to
Yes, I
some
was
astrology
present
fun.
when Mr. Depp was being
If
examined.
that's something that you're interested, then you're in there.
And
Oh
at
well,
this point, you
actually,
were-
today
as
we're
of
having
March
astrology,
13th,
but we were
2015,
also
you were
having
telling Mr.
a little
Depp
bit
that
of
you
tarot
weren't gonna be
readings.
able to
So
treat
yeah,
Mr. Depp anymore. Is that correct?
fun.
The purpose of this.
Good,
note
good.
was to
I'm
make sure
glad.
that he
I'm
was
glad.
strictly
It's all
compliant
good.
with everything because he needed to have his finger reconstructed. And I wanted to be sure that he was following our guidelines for the drug treatment.
Mr. Depp was not following your protocol as of March 1st, 2015, correct?
Yes, I had concerns.
Mr. Depp was not following your protocols that you were giving him as of March 14th, 2015, correct?
Correct.
Dr. Kipper, do you recognize Kipper 17?
Yes,
So you were withdrawing your care for Mr. Depp at least as of March 15th, 2015, correct?
I was withdrawing my care if he did not comply.
And as of March 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp was not complying, correct?
Correct.
He's a rebel.
Again, I'm sorry. Thank you. Move for the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 391.
Y bueno, es que este testimonio es bien importante.
Hearsay, relevance and 403. It's hearsay, not with any exception. It's a communication from a third party, not admissible.
Porque es importante, porque si ellos logran pues convencer al jurado de que el problema de drogas y de adicción de Johnny Depp es lo suficientemente fuerte como para que pueda hacer estas cosas que hace, ¿no? O sea,
What was occurring with Mr. Depp at the time of March 15th,
Well, that's
2015?
for
By
that's the
definition, Your
truth
Honor,
of the matter.
that's
sorry.
being offered for the truth.
It's offered for notice of when Mr. Depp, when Dr. Kipper was not continuing his care of Mr. Depp.
I'll sustain the objection.
Thanks.
Compliant as of March 14th?
The answer is yes, he was not compliant. And the problem at hand, no pun intended, was he was about to have surgery. And for him to have surgery on a finger, he needed to be strictly compliant with what his medications were, what his behavior was. And I did not think he was stable for surgery. And I could not clear him for surgery. And that was what provoked the letter.
Right. And Mr. Depp had been breaking promises to remain sober, correct?
Correct.
And then, did you ever stop your care of Mr. Depp?
There was a week, I believe, and I'm fuzzy on the time frame, but there was a short period of time after sending that note before he connected back with me, asking me to take care of him and promising me compliance.
Was Mr. Depp compliant with the program going forward after March 15th, 2015?
He was compliant around his surgery and post-operative period.
And then he became uncompliant again?
I would have to refer to my notes, but I don't remember him being out of control. I remember him being, compliant with what we needed him to do. There were times when Mr. Depp sort of went underground. Some of that time was when he was out of the country and was hard to connect to. But I do not recall him going off the reservation as far as his drug and alcohol issues.
You recall him testing positive for cocaine after March of 2015?
I believe so. I can't tell you specifically when.
Going back to Kipper 9, there's a text message from Mr. Depp to you on March 19th, 2015. And he says, my most sincere apologies to you, Doc. I understand your decision based on my immunity to do the right thing, and I truly thank you for your concern. I must apologize for not having had the presence of mind to respect the man who has been the most kind and who has done more for me than anyone ever. There was no call for my spineless and base behavior toward you. I honestly understand the reasons for your concerns in your letter, and can say to you now they are no longer an issue. Thank you for everything. I've chopped off my left finger as a reminder that I should never cut off my finger again. I love you, brother Johnny. Do you recall this text from Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And is this the text you recall where Mr. Depp was saying that he would be compliant going forward?
Yes.
You're basing it off of this text. Was there any other conversations with Mr. Depp?
We did, I know we had a conversation at some point around that time that validated this message.
Going to back to Kipper 5, which are, again, the notes. And we're going to go to Kipper 167.
¿Qué karma está pagando Johnny Depp con esa ex esposa, Dios mío? O sea, qué locura. Qué locura, de verdad, que nunca se va a olvidar de esa mujer, Dios mío. Ay, Dios. Porque se nota que no es ningún santo, o sea, aquí no estoy como diciendo, Johnny Depp es un santo para nada. Pero realmente tampoco creo que sea lo que Amber Heard dice que es.
The note at the bottom says, patient is in good spirits and said he's not smoked marijuana in 3 days. States he feels majority of his issues with his
Is
wife
it some
have been
politics?
from him using drugs and
Not
alcohol.
really. No,
Patient
this
states
is like
he no longer
Hollywood
sleep
drama.
/ and wants to enjoy clarity.
It does get
You see that note?
like
I see
it does
that.
get political
Who is that note from?
because Amber Heard in 2016 she
You're
wrote
Miss
an
Lloyd.
article saying that she was a victim of
Did Miss Lloyd report
domestic
this to you?
abuse and that Johnny
And
Depp
that's
was a monster basically, and it was like a big
there
deal
was
here
no-
in the United
no reason
States
to
because
question
we
the
have the
accuracy of
whole
the note,
Me
correct?
Too movement, and a lot of women were coming out and speaking up against like abusers, which
at
there
page
is nothing wrong with that.
168,
Like I definitely, if
um,
someone is an abuser, you should
12:15
say it. And
says
however, when
on
you're
April
making
15th,
things up, then
12:15,
that's just
arrived at
not
patient's
helpful,
home.
right? So
Assistant was in hallway and
yes,
informed
they
RN that
kind of
patient was in
made
bad
it
mood and
like
told
a
assistant
political
he did not
thing
need anything
because
from him today. RN was
like
let in
Johnny
home by
Depp
security and
lost
knocked
a
on
lot of
patient's
his
bedroom
work.
door to let him know she was there. Patient
He
screamed,
was
"What?"
some
RN
of his
informed patient she was
contracts
letting him know
were
she was there and would be
revoked,
downstairs.
which means
RN
that
a
his
little more
income
down. RN
was involved and then, like his whole reputation, right? So in a sense, yes, it does get political, but it's because she made it political. I guess it didn't have to be. And right now it's not like it's politics because it's been like 4 years or 6 years already. But I do feel that we need to like see what's true, like if he really did this or if she's just making it up. And as far at least for what I've seen, like most of the testimonies have been like she's lying about it. Like he didn't hit her, he didn't abuse her the way she says he did. Like they have issues in their relationship, but there are some, and I think it's gonna get more and more like with because there are like a lot of things about she braved him. Like she said that she could just be quiet and not say anything about it as long as he will pay him $50,000 a month, I believe, or something like that. Like, but it's gonna come out. Like this is only the third day, guys. Like this is happening for a few weeks now. Like it's gonna happen for like in the next month. So this is just the beginning.
Darling Kipper, all those technical abbreviations left me fluxumed and in the dark. 3 exclamation points. Soon, I must see you and just hang out. 3 exclamation points. My deformed finger and I have no friends. 3 exclamation points. By the way, ... Amber and I have been absolutely perfect for 3 fucking months solid. 4 exclamation points. I've locked my monster child away in a cage deep within, and it has fucking worked. 4 exclamation points. We're goddamn best friends now. 3 exclamation points. Amazing. 3 exclamation points. Big love to you, my brother. ... JD. You see that?
Oh wow.
And what do you recall?
And it seems like he actually forgave her
for
for this whole charade, and they were happy
That
again.
there was concern that he was taking more Xanax than he should have been. And I needed him to tighten that up and to go back to what he was prescribed. And also there's a reference here to the phone calls. I had asked him not to respond not to engage in these phone calls because those were that always precipitated problems between the two of them when they were in a bad phase.
Phone call between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard.
Correct.
And Mr. Depp responds on July 1st, 2015, and says, I am and have been at peace for the last 3 or 4 months. It's been amazing, but she's somehow locked into this very unpleasant and belittling mode in the last 3 days. The accusations, the verbal abuse and insults, stooping to one, the most unjust. You haven't changed, you fucking desperate hypocrite. You didn't out the monster away. You're full of shit. You're a pathetic fraud. Man, you know how hard I have worked to put that motherfucker in its cage, and I did that, me. I took all those other problems and rid myself of them. There's a whole lot more. I won't bore you with it. The Xanax takes the edge off just a little. You know me. It would take more than a few to really affect me. Seroquel scares me for the reasons I were off of it. If you're worried about the Xanax, prescribe me something different, but with more potency. I don't take them all that often, just when the brain is inundated with this horrible badgering and half-truths from my wife by the WSY. I don't know if you meant by the way.
Ay, ¿te imaginas que tengas que tomarte tranquilizantes para lidiar con tu pareja? O sea,
Again, I do, in looking at it, yes.
And
first
Mr.
world
Depp again
problems.
used the term,
Maybe.
monster, sure.
Though domestic
Yes.
abuse it's not a
Mr.
first
Depp
world problem.
Goes
Like,
on in this text, he
it's-
says, by the way,
at least I'm from a third world
he
country.
sends
Like, I was
another,
born in Colombia, and I
sorry,
know like
here's
domestic
my,
abuse
by
is
the way,
is
Cohen should
really
be run out of town and
it's an
shame. He's a
issue.
fucking
Like,
sump
it really
who's
is,
done
and many
absolutely nothing
women
but
are
giving her the
killed
verbosity that
and
she uses
are raped
that she
and
uses
abused
ever
by
whenever she feels like she must explain to me the psychology
men
of life.
and even their
3 exclamation
partners.
points, ludicrous,
So
3 exclamation
I
points.
wouldn't
Yes,
say it's a
sir.
first world
Cowan should
problem.
be shot in places no
But
one
this
wants to be
case in
shot in. 3
particular,
exclamation
yeah, I
points.
mean,
He's a
they're
goddamn
rich as fuck.
charlatan
They
big time. 3
really
exclamation
are.
points. I'm not going to continue to pay the fucking yes man to do nothing
But
but
I
stare at her tits and agree with everything she spews. ... Tell him to tell he's leaving the business or something, or I too will become a regular client, whether I am welcome or not. 3 exclamation points. Thanks and so sorry. I loves GU.
I will say
Your
that
call, Mr.
the
Depp.
addiction problem,
informed
like
you that he was
addiction to
upset with Dr.
drugs,
Cowan.
it's a first world problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it's
I
incredible. Like, the amount of
remember
money, like when you the
clearly
more
that he
money
was
you have,
upset
the
with
more
Dr.
able
Cowan
you
at a
are
certain
to
point.
like just get anything,
You know, do you
So
recall this text message
I
from
will
Mr.
say drugs are
Depp that I
more
just read to you?
a thing that has to do with
Yes,
first, like
in
addiction to
reading it, I do.
drugs is more like a first world problem than domestic abuse. Domestic abuse it's
You want to go ahead and pause?
it's a big
Looks like a
deal.
good time to break it. It's 5 o'clock. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Any objection to breaking there for the weekend? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll pick up with this testimony on Monday. Since I'm not going to see you for 3 days, I just want to reiterate the same jury instruction I gave you in the beginning of the case when you were first impaneled. Not all of it, but some of it. I just want to make sure you understand for the weekend that you're not to read anything about the case. You're not to watch anything about this case. You're not to listen to anything about the case. This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online sites. Further, you're not to read, watch, or listen to anything about the case on any social media networking sites such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. and similar
Wow,
sites.
guys.
In addition, you must
Okay,
not communicate
it's done
with
for
anyone about the
today.
case, whether in person, over the phone,
It
by
is
email,
done
text,
for
or instant messaging,
today.
or by any other electronic or non-electronic means.
And yeah, it is important not to watch at anything because to see anything from this, because one of the one of the ladies that was testifying, she was disqualified just because she saw some clips, she watched some clips about like the case, right? So yeah, it's a big deal. This is so serious, guys. Like, it really is. I was thinking when was it yesterday? I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm just too nosy, like getting into this, like what's the point? But it really, I feel like we need to get to the truth, even if it sounds silly. Like, I know it's because they're celebrities, who cares? I feel like whenever there is like injustice, it doesn't matter who is involved in it, it doesn't matter, because if there is a saying, not a saying, but there is a quote from, is it like Martin Luther King or is it Malcolm X? I have to check, but I believe it's Malcolm X, and he says, when you're quiet in situations of injustice, you are on the side of the um on the side of the attacker, or the, like the person, the, oh my god, my English. I'm gonna pull it out, like I'm gonna look for it. I'm definitely gonna look for the quote. When you in a situation of injustice, justice. um Okay, here it is if you're neutral. Let's see who wrote this. Let me see. I'm looking at it and seeing if I can find it. You're choosing the side of the oppressor. Okay, it says but it's actually, oh, look at this. I just figure I'm just finding this out. It's a proverb from the African country, not country, continent. Let me see. I'm not good at like research, but it says here, Desmond Tutu, South African and Anglican clergyman, and he said, if you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. And he continues, but I think he's being quoted by what's it called, from like Martin Luther King and many like leaders, like movement, like leaders of like social movements and things like that. So and I do feel is very accurate. It really doesn't matter if it's a rich person, like if they're being accused of something they are not, then that's it, like you can say, okay, they're assholes, they're cocky, they're this, they're extravagant, they're like, you can say those things, and it's all right. But if you're accusing them of something that they didn't do, like sexual abuse, because these are the allegations that she puts out there, like sexual abuse, that's like penetrating her with like items and like having sex whenever she didn't want to and things like that, like that's just not, it's not right. If it is a lie, if it is true, then okay, go ahead. But if it's not, like if it's just making it up, like it's just not fair, and it really seems like, yeah, o sea, definitivamente sí es una pareja muy tóxica. Like they have a really toxic relationship from the beginning. And I don't know, I guess, have you guys ever been in a toxic relationship? Like I haven't, I really haven't. Yo no tengo experiencia de estar en una con una pareja tóxica, pero like it's weird, like what I seen from like friends and clients and family. I can see is like really highs but also very lows, like very lows and really highs, like so it's just like wow. it's it's so interesting because like all that intensity, okay, you have been cool. Okay, could like, will you like to like maybe share a little bit, like maybe how long was that and why do you stay, or if you like, when do you figure out that you were on a toxic relationship and you're like, can like, or maybe what do you like about it? Because I know that there are like, I know for like what I witnessed from other people that I've been involved in these relationships, there is some like first of all, there's like a strong desire. I mean, that's part of it, it's like very, very strong desire, like from the, like both, like there is attraction, but there is also like this aggressiveness that comes out, and it's like you cannot be together unless you're like being intimate. um a ver, what do you say here? Unfair lover. Okay, so is it like unbalanced relationship? Is that what you're referring to? Because definitely like unbalanced, like maybe one person trying all the time and the other one not even wanting, that's how it felt like, for what I heard on this case. It's like she wanted to try things out, like she wanted to save the marriage, but at the same time she was like too obsessed with it, like way too obsessed, and she couldn't like let go of the control, and fake. Yeah, I mean, will you say fake the person that you fell in love with, or like was it fake like the whole thing, like I don't know. Like the relationship was fake, or was it that the other person was fake? Because definitely there is a sense of that, like in this case, and this is just me like watching and just getting into like their heads, sort of, because I like to do those things, kind of like digging deep. And I feel that I mean, I do think she loved him at some point. Like, I mean, she was attracted to him, and but there was like most of that was like just wanting to the status, because of course you're dating Johnny Depp, like that puts you like on top, like. Let me see, it says sexual only. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, guys, because sex is a big deal, sex is a big deal, but it's not at all everything when it comes in a relationship. And I do feel that many of us confuse good sex with like love, but it's not. I mean, it's like we're trained for that, like our bodies are made to like feel pleasure when we have intercourse, right? But I don't know, I feel like sometimes we just get too attached to that feeling, and we um like you say here, like it's just that it's only sex, and the rest is fake, the rest is just, and I can tell that Johnny Depp has his very kinky side, and like Amber, like that woman, oh my god, like I'm not, who am I to judge? But before she was dating Johnny, and before she got married and all of that, she was in same-sex relationship, right? She was dating a female. I don't know for how long, I have to check, but she was dating a female, and they had a toxic relationship as well. Like it wasn't like great, but it was sort of like two women, like if they hit each other, it's like, okay, it's two women. Like who cares, right? But when it I have, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Okay, thank you. um sorry guys, so what I was saying, yeah, it was like I do feel like this lady, like this woman, she can just have a normal relationship. Like she will always bring the drama, like all of the testifying people, they were like, she's just dramatic, like she's always been dramatic, like every time it's a drama thing, so it's like, so like some of them were so like used to her drama that they were like, whatever, like it's her, she is Amber, she always does it, and it's funny because her name is Amber. I don't like her real name is not Amber, but I just think it's funny because there is like the Amber Alert, and I do feel like she's that. Like she's like, when she comes in, it's like everything's it's a whole big deal, right? Like she gets hurt really easily, but when she hurts other people, like it's like no one can say a thing, it's like she's always playing the victim when she is in reality the oppressor. I do feel that, like I really, really do. We're gonna see how this develops, but like honestly, what has been like what I seen and heard. It's just like she complains about, or she says that she was very concerned about like Johnny Depp's abuse to alcohol and drugs, when she did exactly the same. Like this morning there was the testimony from her assistant, her personal assistant, which she was like like this woman didn't pay me good money. Like I did a lot of things for her and she never respected me. She didn't pay me what it was fair. She fired me like without even telling me, like giving me some type of notice. It was crazy. It was just like, she's honestly, and I don't want to like, but she is a very cheap person. Like she she really is. Just yesterday it was, I couldn't, like, I have to work and do, but I was like listening on the background, and it was a little bit, no, it was boring because it was like a lot of silence and things like that. But there were some footage, like camera footage of where they reside, and she like the way she behaved was like, I don't know. It was weird. Like I saw her how she like threw some, like she was eating something, and then she just like threw the grabber on the floor, and I was like, who does that? Like that just shows the character of a person. If you litter, like if you're a person that litters, like that's just not, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And like, okay, if you're like a random person, like, okay, maybe I wouldn't say it's acceptable, but all right. But like this is a freak. Like she's a Hollywood star, guys. Like she's Hollywood. Like these people are supposed to be like super glamorous, or at least I will expect that. If you have that kind of money, like behave as someone that has that kind of money. But it's like, como dicen in my country, como dicen en mi país, like they said in my country, el mono aunque se vista de seda, mono se queda. The monkey, even if dresses in silk, is still a monkey. And yeah, she don't care. Yeah, I don't think she cares. Yeah, definitely she don't care. And we can see it by her face that she doesn't care. Like it's crazy. It's crazy because it's I feel like it's serious stuff. But anyway, chicos, I'm gonna take a little break because I need to go to I need to go to the bathroom. And then we will continue. We're gonna have some astrology, and we're gonna have some tarot, and yeah, we're gonna talk about this energy of today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, people from Twitch. Oh my god, you guys are fun. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna put a little video here, and I'll come back in a little bit. Ok, chicos, I'm back. Estoy de vuelta. Okay. Being Cool says, I'd like to talk to you more. Great. Awesome. Well, if you're still here, let me know. So yeah, bueno, bienvenidos chicos, bienvenidos a mi canal So Far So Happy. Yo soy Ginoski, astróloga y lectora de tarot, aquí acompañándolos desde Connecticut, Estados Unidos. Y bueno, pues como pueden ver chicos, estoy tratando cosas diferentes y bueno, no, estoy realmente disfrutando un montón de este caso de Johnny Depp y su ex esposa Amber Heard. Bueno, porque a mí primero que todo me interesan las vidas de los artistas. Aparte, bueno, me parece que es interesante como ver estos casos que suceden así en la vida real, chicos. O sea, aquí ahí no hay nada de scripts, ¿cierto? No hay libretos o algo por el estilo, lo cual significa que, bueno, estas personas están viviendo esto en realidad, ¿cierto? Esto no es una película. Y bueno, pues como este caso va a durar creo que 1 mes y medio, hoy culminamos la primera semana, entonces bueno, me van a ver por aquí transmitiendo esto en vivo, comentando, reaccionando a lo que escucho en vivo. Y bueno, ustedes si quieren aquí acompañarme en este watch party, pues bueno, súper invitados, pueden poner sus comentarios, sus opiniones, hacer sus preguntas, mejor dicho, a cualquier cosa que ustedes quieran compartir, pues bueno, saben que este es el lugar. Y bueno, como ya lo saben, pues nosotros aquí nos enfocamos, ese es nuestro mayor enfoque y es el crecimiento personal, ¿no? Y la verdad yo siento que podemos, como por aquí Luis nos dijo hace un ratico, nos dijo, podemos aprender de todo. Y sí, es verdad, podemos aprender de ejemplos de vida, porque realmente pues sí, es un ejemplo de vida. De pronto no de una vida así súper sana, por decirlo así, porque realmente, al menos en el caso de Johnny Depp, pues, wow, su vida ha sido bien interesante, ¿no? Pero bueno, aquí para recordar el comentario que nos hizo Luis diciendo que de todo se puede aprender, claro, y es muy cierto, como que a veces siento yo que como que decimos, no, es un rico, es un famoso, que nos importa, y bueno, sí, o sea, cada uno con lo suyo, ¿no? Pero lo que sí siento que importa y es la justicia, chicos, el que simplemente, y bueno, en este caso en particular, simplemente por ser mujer, como que no, ser mujer no es una excusa para simplemente hacer lo que se te da la gana, ¿cierto? Como que tratar a la gente como se te da la gana, decir mentiras acerca de personas, o sea, como que no, o sea, todos necesitamos una sensación de accountability, accountability, no sé cómo se dice accountability en español, contabilidad. Ay, Dios mío, voy a tener que verlo, la traducción, pero bueno, necesitamos tener esa accountability por lo que decimos, por lo que hacemos, ¿cierto? No que porque somos mujer, porque es que eso es lo que al fin y al cabo hace esta chica, ¿no? O hizo, ¿cierto? Como que, soy mujer, entonces soy víctima automáticamente. Y es como que no porque eres mujer, eres víctima. Obviamente en este mundo hay muchas mujeres que sufren y por eso hay que representarlas de una manera justa y honesta y no dar justicia, que no es justicia a una persona que simplemente está inventando cosas. ¿Y por qué? Porque esto al fin y al cabo solamente daña la reputación de nosotros como mujeres. Y bueno, esto lo hablamos creo que anteayer en el primer día del juicio y fue precisamente eso, como que hay las mujeres que nos están representando ahora, pues realmente, en mi opinión, no son mujeres que realmente les interesa nuestro bienestar, sino lo único que quieren es salirse con la suya a toda costa sin que les digan nada al respecto. Y entre ellas, entre las high profile, por decirlo así, pues está esta chica, ¿no? Que se autoproclamó el símbolo de la mujer abusada por su esposo, cuando la verdad es que es muy, muy injusto para las mujeres que de verdad sufren a manos de sus parejas y que no puede, o que no cierto que por alguna razón no pueden decir ah, o no, cierto, no han encontrado como esa salida de una situación abusiva y tóxica. Entonces, como digo, más que por chisme o por algo, es simplemente porque hay que ver los detalles, porque no todas las personas tienen la oportunidad y el dinero para poder limpiar su nombre si es que ocurre un caso como estos. O sea, las personas comunes y corrientes, chicos, si alguien dice algo de nosotros y tiene más dinero que nosotros o algo así, pues es imposible como llevar a cabo estas luchas legales porque es dinero y dinero y dinero. O sea, chicos, estos abogados ganan como entre 100 y $1000 la hora, ¿cierto? O creo que lo menos que ganan son como 400, $500 la hora depende del abogado, ¿no? Pero estamos hablando casi de $1000 por estos servicios a la hora. Entonces, imagínense el dineral que se está yendo en esto. Pero digo yo, no, pues creo que vale la pena, ¿no? Al menos puedo entender por qué Johnny Depp pues dice, uy, ok, si tengo el dinero, pues lo voy a invertir porque es importante aclarar las cosas, ¿no? Como digo, yo personalmente no puedo ser imparcial. Traté de ser imparcial, la verdad, dije, bueno, ok, vamos a escuchar qué dicen los testigos, pero es que todos los testigos han dicho hasta el momento, o sea, ella es agresiva, ella es abusiva, ella también hace drogas, toma alcohol, es súper mala clase, la verdad. Como dice aquí, being cool, she don't care, like she don't care. A ella no le importa, no le importa, las otras personas, ella solo le importa a ella misma, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, como digo, eso es, yo sé, y trato, chicos, de verdad que trato de ser imparcial, pero no puedo, o sea, este tipo de personalidad es como que porque me las he encontrado, la verdad, o sea, personas como Amber hay muchas personas que se las dan de víctimas cuando en realidad son los perpetuadores, ¿cierto? Entonces, no sé, también de una forma, siento que es como una manera de empatizar con ciertas personas que de pronto no pueden poner su voz ahí afuera y defenderse, como que si nosotros podemos hablar de estas cosas, porque al fin y al cabo, si, relaciones tóxicas hay un montón, chicos, o sea, es increíble la cantidad de toxicidad que podemos tener en nuestras relaciones y a veces muchas personas caemos en esos patrones repetitivos, ¿cierto? Como que volvemos una y otra vez y de cierta forma siento que con Johnny Depp es algo así, o sea, no sé cómo eran sus relaciones pasadas, pero al menos con esta chica como que no la supo escoger. Definitivamente. Pero bueno, chicos, déjenme saber ustedes cómo están hoy, cómo se han sentido en este jueves de Júpiter. Espero que súper bien, así súper grandioso. Ha sido un día muy, muy bonito, aunque no he tenido la chance de salir porque, bueno, he estado ocupadita y bueno, dije, no, 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 tengo que ir a cubrir lo más que pueda y a interactuar con ustedes y disfrutar de este show juntos. Pero bueno, vamos a comenzar. Voy aquí a compartir mi pantalla para que veamos cómo están los planéticas hoy. Y como es, alisten su carta natal, chicos, pongan su carta natal ahí, tengan su carta natal a la mano para que podamos disfrutar mucho más de esta información. Entonces, bueno, tenemos hoy, a ver, ¿qué tenemos hoy? Tenemos la luna, estaba, porque está saliendo de un trígono con Plutón, lo cual, bueno, eso me gusta porque nos permite como el discernimiento, chicos. Bueno, por eso les decía que esta energía, es que es muy curioso, porque todo está ligado a esta conjunción de Júpiter y Neptuno que todavía sigue vigente. O sea, es increíble como hasta súper, súper intensa, súper exacta. Y la verdad se reflejan los días. No sé dónde estamos, chicos. Déjenme saber en qué lugar nos encontramos del mundo, pero aquí donde yo estoy está tan bonito, hemos tenido el mejor clima del año hasta el momento, o sea, mejor dicho, digo, ¿por qué no estoy afuera? Pero sí, realmente hemos tenido muy, muy buen clima y yo creo que es esta energía, chicos, es esta energía tan soñadora, tan mágica de Júpiter en conjunción con Neptuno, como que nos da ese oasis energético y literalmente se ha mantenido, o sea, se ha mantenido muy bonito. Ahora veo que hay un sextil exacto aquí con los nodos lunares y lo que significa que, bueno, hay un sextil con el nodo lunar norte y un trígono con el nodo lunar sur. Entonces, bueno, tenemos como una fluidez bien linda emocional que de pronto nos permite como que soltar nuestras emociones de una manera artística, linda, ¿cierto? Como que siento que esta energía se presta hoy y durante esta semana para eso, para que expresemos nuestras emociones de una manera artística, bonita, mágica de cierta forma. Entonces es como una gran sensibilidad, pero que la podemos como manifestar y enfocar de una forma muy, muy sí, como muy enfocada, porque bueno, tenemos aquí tenemos también este trígono aquí entre Plutón y la Luna, entonces es como que bueno, tenemos la oportunidad de que nuestras emociones las enfoquemos en algo que nos hace soltar algo, ¿cierto? Que nos hace soltar de las emociones negativas, o también expresar, ¿cierto? Expresar un deseo muy grande o una necesidad muy grande de nosotros. Entonces, está muy bonito porque siento que tiene que ver con, bueno, totalmente con nuestro espíritu, porque todo lo que tiene que ver con Piscis, pues se refiere a nuestra vida espiritual y también a nuestra vida privada, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, diría yo que si eres una persona que tiene la oportunidad de escaparse un ratico esta semana, de pronto si estás en un paraíso, por decirlo así, en unas vacaciones, bueno, súper, o sea, la energía está muy bonita para eso y nos puede inspirar, sobre todo si somos artistas o si somos personas que nos gusta la espiritualidad y estamos como en ese camino. Wow, pues esta energía está bien, bien bonita, bien fluida, súper inspiracional y de cierta forma, pues conectada con el destino, ¿cierto? Es como que el soltar nuestras emociones de una manera armoniosa, de una manera libre y linda, pues nos ayuda a acercarnos a una sostenibilidad. Algo que me encanta de la energía de estos días, chicos, es que como que se le trae materialidad y se le trae fundamentos a la magia, ¿cierto? Entonces es como la unión perfecta entre la tierra y lo divino, ¿cierto? Como que tenemos esta inspiración divina, tenemos este fluir que muy, muy fácilmente podemos como que usarlo para largo tiempo. Es como cuando riegas una planta, ¿cierto? Y es como que, o siembras, ¿cierto? Porque bueno, esto es una conjunción, entonces realmente es sembrar una semilla, estamos sembrando una semilla de abundancia, de espiritualidad, de sabiduría, de arte, de magia, de paz, la verdad, con Venus aquí en el mix, pues sí tenemos como esta semana estamos sembrando una semilla de paz, de arte, de sabiduría y nos está alineando a que estos conceptos grandes y bellos sean más parte de nuestro día a día y sean muchísimo más concretos, que podamos disfrutar realmente y sentir toda esa belleza en nuestro día a día y que nos haga nuestras vidas más fáciles, más sostenibles. Siento yo que hay como una elocuencia, como que podemos comunicarnos de una manera muy bonita, porque bueno, también tenemos aquí a Mercurio en un sextil con Venus. Entonces, bueno, esta energía se siente así como un poco más romántica, ¿cierto? Es like a more romantic energy que como que dice, ¿qué tal si diría yo que la manera que puedes usar esta energía es tomando ese chance, yendo a hablar con esa persona que te gusta, si es que estás en una situación así, y si no es una persona que te gusta, una persona con que te quieras aliar o algo así, bueno, hacerlo, ¿no? Es como, como que nuestra voz nos está permitiendo ser elocuentes, como que estamos tomando nuestro tiempo para seducir con nuestras palabras, se siente como una energía muy, muy seductora con nuestras palabras, pero también es así como que, wow, o sea, como que sorprende, impacta de la nada. Entonces diría yo que si quieres sorprender a alguien, este es el momento para hacerlo, o seguramente tú seas el sorprendido, ¿no? Hay como un aire muy, muy romántico, también como de amoroso, y no solo amor entre parejas, sino también amor divino, amor entre personas, amor entre comunidades, amor para nosotros mismos. Es como muy, muy soñador, muy bonito y la verdad, bueno, sí, súper, súper chévere para que la utilicemos y sembremos. Diría yo que si puedes sembrar algo hoy sería también una manera muy bonita de honrar esta energía, ¿no? Como sembrar un arbolito, sembrar una plantica y como que ponerle todo ese amor tan hermoso y ver cómo crece y no sé, se pone súper abundante porque definitivamente todo lo que envuelva a Júpiter y sobre todo en Piscis, donde se siente en su casa, pues siempre va a traer abundancia, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, obviamente pues la luna digamos que está en oposición, pero realmente a mí las oposiciones no me parecen como tan dañinas, por decirlo así. Para mí las cuadraturas es como las más problemáticas. Las oposiciones lo que hacen es enfrentarnos a alguien o a algo, ¿cierto? Como que ponerlo muy evidentemente enfrente de nosotros y bueno, sí puede ser de pronto algo que, una verdad, ¿cierto? Puede ser una verdad muy fuerte o una conexión psíquica bastante fuerte que también nos permite de cierta forma discernir entre qué es real y qué no es real. Entonces, me gusta porque es como que nuestra mente se está abriendo, ¿cierto? O al menos está más disciplinada y está sabiendo cómo discernir y diciendo, oh, ok, mira, ahora veo claramente cuál es lo verdaderamente puro, ¿cierto? Como que de cierta forma hay una sensación de que, ah, de poder ver más allá de solamente el glamour y las cosas bonitas, sino realmente de sentir la belleza de nosotros, de las personas, del mundo, y es como que estamos apreciando eso. No nos estamos enfocando en lo que es falso, sino estamos apreciando como que así sea poco, pero es como que, wow, esto es real, esto me enamora, esto me encanta. Am, Me hace sentir satisfecho o me hace sentir bien, me trae paz, me brinda paz a mi vida. Y es como que podemos ver claramente de pronto qué es lo que no nos brinda paz. Entonces es como más fácil decir, ok, ¿sabes? Me voy a enfocar en esto que de verdad es real, ¿cierto? Esto que de verdad me hace bien y no todo lo contrario. Lo cual es curioso porque, bueno, hoy viendo como el caso de, pues, en la corte de Johnny Depp y Amber Heard, pues, sí se sintió eso. Por ejemplo, hubo el testimonio de la psicóloga que los trató, la terapeuta de pareja, que bueno, pues trató de ayudar en su matrimonio. Y bueno, ella decía que pues que sí, que claramente ella podía ver que había amor entre los dos. O sea, ellos no querían dejar de estar juntos, la verdad. Ellos lucharon por mantener su matrimonio, pero no se pudo. O sea, realmente como que sí tenían como estas etapas como de que trataban y volvían a estar bien. Y volvían a estar bien por una temporada, y después otra vez recaían en su círculo, ¿no? Entonces, siento yo que la energía de hoy nos ayuda como a que nos quedemos con esas memorias y esas cosas lindas, para que no nos dejemos como distraer por lo demás, ¿cierto? Como por las otras cosas y como que, sin, ¿cómo diría esto yo? Es como, am, nos ayuda a que verdaderamente sepamos qué es bueno para nosotros, ¿cierto? Como que, wow, es tan claro para nosotros que ya es como que vamos a ir buscando eso, vamos a acercarnos cada vez más a esa pureza y a ese amor de verdad y no nos vamos a distraer por eso que no es real, ¿cierto? Esas energías que no, que parecen amor, pero no lo son, ¿cierto? Como aquí ahorita nos comentaba Being Cool, nos decía que son fake, ¿cierto? Que son falsas. Entonces, bueno, es como que al menos a nivel espiritual y a nivel pareja, pues me parece que es una energía muy bonita, ya sea que estemos o no en pareja, pues sí siento que nos ayuda precisamente a eso, a hacernos respetar desde, porque ya reconocemos como ese valor propio, ¿no? Como eso que es justo para nosotros, verdadero para nosotros, y no nos dejamos llevar por otras cosas que parecen que fueran lo que queremos, lo que valoramos. Entonces, bueno, esa es la parte bonita, porque bueno, también tenemos aquí a Saturno en cuadratura con los nodos. Esto es como un tira y afloje, chicos, es como una, una guerra, por decirlo así, entre, ok, ¿te vas a fijar en lo bueno o te vas a fijar en lo malo? O sea, tienes las dos opciones así súper claritas. O te pones a llorar porque el mundo es horrible, porque la injusticia prevalece, por lo que sea, o disfrutas de las cosas, que las oportunidades y las cosas bonitas de la vida, ¿cierto? Es como que está así súper claro. Y yo no diría que es como de ignorar las cosas feas, porque no, no necesariamente. Pero sí es como muy de entender cómo nosotros podemos, cómo nuestra mente tiene ese poder de enfocarse en ciertas cosas. No necesariamente porque lo demás no exista, sino porque a veces necesitamos como esos breaks, necesitamos como, sí, ese descanso de la intensidad, ¿no? Y definitivamente lo que es aquí Saturno en cuadratura con los nodos sí trae mucha, más que intensidad, trae como una sensación de peso, ¿cierto? Como de que estuviéramos atados. Entonces es como que nos podemos sentir atados, la verdad. O sea, sí podemos estar sintiéndonos atados al pasado, porque Saturno tiene muchísimo que ver con el pasado, los nodos también, los nodos representan el karma. Entonces, bueno, hay que tener mucho en cuenta eso si estamos teniendo algunas emociones negativas, porque no sé, me dejan saber ustedes si de pronto sienten algo por el estilo, pero esta es una energía más como a nivel colectivo, ¿no? Es como una energía que no te quiere dejar ir, que no te quiere soltar, que es como que te dice, bueno, ya saliste a pasear, no sé, siento como esa sensación de cuando tienes un perrito, una mascota, ¿cierto? Y como que la dejas salir, pero es como que apenas ya dice, no, y le pones el collar y es como que no, tú te quedas aquí, esto es lo más lejos que puedes ir y es como que el perrito es como que, no, pero yo quiero ir allá, ¿cierto? Como que siento que es una energía que está así para nosotros, está como que poniéndonos el collar, ¿cierto? Poniéndonos el arnés y diciéndonos, esto es lo más lejos que puedes ir, este es tu límite, pero nuestra visión, nuestra fe, porque Júpiter tiene muchísimo que ver con la fe, nos dice no. Puedes ir más allá, te puedes liberar de esa carga, ¿cierto? Y lo puedes hacer de una manera linda, no tienes que necesariamente pelearlo, lucharlo, así am, como sufrirlo, por decirlo así, no lo tienes que sufrir, puedes lograrlo de una manera bonita si expresas tus emociones de una manera artística, creativa, bonita y también es una energía muy empática. Eso también siento que de pronto podemos estar encontrando personas con quienes podemos empatizar mucho más, que nos sentimos como que, oh, mira, wow, todos sentimos esto, tú sientes esto, yo siento esto, ¿qué tal si nos unimos y comenzamos algo nuevo, ¿cierto? Como una revolución, pero una revolución más de espíritu. Entonces, bueno, vamos a ver cómo se sigue desenvolviendo esta energía, pero bueno, hay que aprovecharla porque, a esta nochecita, pues como pueden ver aquí, Marte está a 29 grados de Acuario, lo que significa que esta noche entrará oficialmente al signo de Piscis y es como que ese es el oasis energético, como que ya no va a ser tan oasis, ¿cierto? Ya va a llegar como un poquito más de fricción, va a llegar como, bueno, vamos a hablar un poquito de lo que es Marte en Piscis, porque para eso estamos acá. Entonces, bueno, creo, a ver, ¿qué más tenemos por aquí antes de que me introduzca a hablar? Lo que es Marte en Piscis, lo que representa Marte en Piscis, no, creo que estamos bien, chicos, y déjenme saber, por eso es que quiero que tengan sus carticas por ahí, por si alguno de ustedes tiene a Marte en Piscis y nos cuente. O si conoces a alguien con Marte en Piscis, yo conozco a una que otra persona con Marte en Piscis. La verdad es que es común, aparte también he leído con muchas cartas de clientes que, bueno, de pronto no lo tienen en Piscis, pero lo tienen en Cáncer, ¿cierto? Definitivamente a Marte, es, a excepción de Escorpión, no le va muy bien en los signos de agua. Y bueno, digamos que en Piscis es como si el fuego se ahogara, chicos. Eso es lo que pasa con Marte en Piscis. Es como que la rabia, todo, porque, bueno, Marte representa, es el dios de la guerra, ¿no? Así se le conoce a Marte como el dios de la guerra. Siempre está luchando por sobrevivir, siempre tiene una pelea, siempre tiene un problema que atacar, ¿cierto? Esa es la energía de Marte que, bueno, al fin y al cabo es acción, significa acción y significa movimiento, y acción y movimiento hacia adelante y que es, a veces puede ser bruta, ¿cierto? A veces puede ser bruta y muy directa, pero bueno, básicamente es hacia adelante, siempre va hacia adelante, no mira atrás, pero en Piscis, chicos, en Piscis, haz de cuenta que, no sé, bueno, yo nunca he tratado algo por el estilo, pero no sé, que meterte en una piscina y como que se te va, ¿cierto? Que haz de cuenta que estás dando puños en una piscina, por decirlo así, ¿no? Y es como que, como que no es lo mismo, se ahoga, no es la misma intensidad, se va por otro lado. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa con esta energía que se vuelve como un poco sneaky, ¿cierto? Como que se va por detrás, se va por los laditos, como que espera, espera, pero ataca, definitivamente ataca, siempre ataca. Marte está hecho para eso, está hecho para tomar acción. Y cuando no se toma la acción correcta en el momento correcto, cuando no se le honra a Marte como esta energía que nos ofrece, y que suele suceder cuando está en Piscis, bueno, la rabia se queda, ¿cierto? Esos ataques, en vez de darlos en el momento preciso, es como, me dijeron algo que me molestó, en vez de confrontar y decir, mira, no me digas eso, a mí no me gustan esas cosas, tarararara, es como que, ¿me dijiste eso? Oh, oh. ¿Cierto? Como que se ofende, pero no confronta. Entonces, es como que todos esos puñales energéticos, por decirlo así, en vez de salir de una manera como, no, ¿cierto? Evidente y en el momento, se quedan atascados y quedan atrapados dentro de tus emociones, ¿no? Tu cuerpo emocional está lleno de rabia y lleno de ataques que no se dieron cuando se debían dar, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, podemos esperar ahora eso, ¿no? Una vez Marte entrando en el signo de Piscis, pues puede que provoque algo así en nosotros, puede que provoque una gran rabia, un gran resentimiento. Y bueno, a nivel colectivo, pues sí, eso puede ser, ¿no? Que algo suceda, ya sea en nuestra vida personal o a nivel colectivo, que nos haga sentir con mucha rabia, pero no sepamos cómo actuar. O simplemente es como que, uy, eso no me gustó, pero es como que, bueno, me quedo como con la espinita por dentro. Entonces, bueno, como les digo, con la entrada de Piscis, con la entrada de Marte al signo de Piscis, es como que sí, ese oasis energético ya es como que entra otro, llega Marte a la fiesta y digamos que a Marte le hacen el feo, le dicen como que, ¿tú qué estás haciendo aquí? Y Marte, pues es como que se mete y pasa en la fiesta, pero como que se puede ofender, ¿cierto? Se puede ofender por ciertas cosas que nota o se puede sentir, más que ofender, yo creo que se siente como fuera de lugar y el simple hecho de sentirse fuera de lugar es como que, ¿qué estoy haciendo aquí? Es cierto, no puedo decir nada, no me puedo expresar. Y puede que sintamos eso durante este paso de Marte por Piscis, que sintamos que no sabemos cómo expresar nuestra rabia, de pronto no sabemos ni por qué nos estamos irritando, ¿cierto? Porque eso he notado con personas con Marte en Piscis y es que aceptan mucho abuso. Y es curioso porque hoy hemos estado, bueno, al menos en lo que es el caso de Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, hemos visto mucho eso, ¿no? El abuso. Y siento yo que las personas con Marte en Piscis tienden a recibir, a aguantar mucho abuso, ¿cierto? Es como que les dicen una cosa una y otra vez, o ¿cierto? Les hacen desplantes, o los tratan mal, y no dicen nada y aguantan y aguantan y aguantan. Y es como porque en su mente ellos están como esperando el momento perfecto de arruinarte, porque la verdad es que sí, es una energía bastante vengativa, la verdad, en una, como en su aspecto más peligroso, por decirlo así, porque sí, a veces puede ser peligroso, no solamente para la, creo que es peligroso para la persona en sí, porque es como que planean y planean y planean y planean su ataque, pero de tanto planearlo, cuando sale, o sea, no sale en el momento en que ellos planearon y arruina todo, arruina amistades. Bueno, obviamente depende en qué casa suceda esto, ¿cierto? Pero puede arruinar amistades, puede arruinar matrimonios, puede arruinar carreras, ¿cierto? Como que tiene esa habilidad para cortarlo todo así así pium, pium, pium y llevárselo, porque bueno, Marte es un maléfico, eso hay que saber de Marte, es un planeta maléfico y básicamente lo que hace Marte es separar, ¿cierto? Marte es el opuesto a Venus, que lo que hace es unir, Marte separa, entonces lo que noto con Marte en Piscis es que es tanto eh, como, ay, se me olvidan las palabras, chicos. Suprimir, tanto suprimir la rabia, am, provoca que eventualmente salga en el momento menos apropiado y que sea rotundo muchas veces, ¿cierto? Obviamente, si tienes a Marte en Piscis, ¿ok? De pronto no es la mejor posición para Marte, pero ¿qué tal si lo tienes acompañado de un planeta benéfico, sea Júpiter o sea Venus, ¿cierto? Como que esto lo puede ayudar a ser como un poco más tranquilo. Obviamente depende el signo y la casa, ¿cierto? Entonces, uf, uf. No más hablar de Marte a veces me da como calor, porque es como que, wow, y una vez empiezan todas estas emociones fuertes. En Piscis, wow, son emociones fuertísimas. Y bueno, a Marte en Piscis sí se le conoce como el vengador, eso sí, como el vengador. Y bien usado, pues bueno, bien usado, pues sí puede ser de una persona que bueno, es que a veces tiende un poquito a la manipulación, ¿cierto? O sea, sí es como una energía manipuladora, pero bueno, como digo, bien usado sí puede hacer que sea muy estratégico, muy estratégico y que como que sepa guardar, como decir, bueno, esta pelea, esta batalla, sé que no la voy a ganar, entonces como que voy a dejarlo ahí. Am, pero realmente depende de otros factores si se va a poder sostener como ese cool, si se va a poder como mantener esa sensación de, ok, esto no importa ya, a que si no, ¿cierto? Porque También depende de tu signo solar, depende de muchísimas cosas, la verdad. Por eso es que hay que ver toda la carta natal, chicos. Y bueno, si ustedes están interesados en conocer su carta natal a profundidad, pues déjenmelo saber. Yo les dejo el link aquí en la descripción de mis lecturas personales. Sugiero que aprovechen que está a un precio muy, muy asequible hasta el momento y va a cambiar muy, muy pronto. Pero bueno, eso es básicamente Marte en Piscis. O sea, bueno, hay más cosas, la verdad, o sea, pero realmente depende mucho, pues, de cómo, bueno, primero que todo, por ejemplo, si tienes Marte en Piscis en la casa 9, bueno, te puede hacer de pronto una persona, un buen abogado, ¿cierto? Te puede hacer una persona que aplica la ley o la verdad de una forma como estratégica y como que sabe, como te decía, cómo ganar sus peleas. Y sobre todo de pronto en un lugar en un ámbito de la ley o de el estudio o en el exterior, ¿cierto? De pronto también podría ser de una persona que pueda fundirse muy bien con personas del exterior, llevarse muy bien con personas del exterior, o si no se lleva bien, al menos hay como que puede haber como una sensación de lograr mucho y de poderse mover mucho en otros países o algo así. Como digo, depende de muchas cosas, pero bueno, si lo tienes en tu casa 9, si Marte, tienes a Marte en Piscis, si lo tienes en tu casa 9 o en tu casa 5, pues súper. Y bueno, en general, no sé dónde tienes a Marte, pero Marte es un planeta muy importante porque, bueno, tiene que ver con nuestra rabia, tiene que ver con nuestra acción, nuestra voluntad. Entonces, bueno, tener un Marte fuerte, wow, qué envidia tener un buen Marte. Aunque es curioso, por ejemplo, esta chica Amber Heard tiene a Marte en Capricornio, lo cual es genial, es chévere. La cosa es que, bueno, vimos su carta natal hace unos días. Lastimosamente no tenemos la hora de nacimiento, entonces a mí no me gusta como decir, ok, esto, sino tengo un ascendente, porque el ascendente pues revela las casas y cosas así que como que hacen que las cosas sean más concretas, pero Marte en Capricornio sí puede ser bastante ambicioso, o sea, es muy bueno porque te ayuda a ser disciplinado, fuerte, constante, pero bueno, también trae esa ambición que, bueno, en el caso de Amber, pues ya, esta muchacha tiene mucha ambición, aunque sí siento diría yo que como que no sabe jugar bien sus cartas, la verdad, o sea, como que, pues, o las sabe jugar al principio, pero después como que se enloquece. No sé, ustedes, si ustedes están al tanto, pues me dejan saber, chicos. Pero bueno, mi idea era dar lecturas de tarot. Si alguien quiere, if someone here that wants uh, a small tarot reading or I just pull out a card, bueno, súper bienvenido. Si no, pues me voy a disfrutar de lo que queda del día. Entonces, bueno, voy a esperar aquí unos segunditos, minuticos, no sé, si alguien que está aquí presente quiere o que le saque una cartica de lo que es la energía para ustedes, ¿no? Personal, de lo que puede venirse en temporada de Marte transitando por Piscis, pues me deja saber. Mientras tanto, voy a ver hasta cuándo va a estar Marte en Piscis para que tengamos un frame, un frame. Wow, hasta mayo 24. Ok, vamos a tener a Marte en Piscis hasta mayo 24. Vamos a ver qué más está sucediendo alrededor de mayo 24. $16 de mayo. Oh, wow. Bueno, pues, a ver, vamos ya a estar fuera de la, bueno, no vamos a estar totalmente fuera de la temporada eclíptica, pero ya van a pasar los 2 eclipses, porque bueno, por si no lo saben, chicos, tenemos 2 eclipses aproximándose a nosotros. El primero será, no el próximo sábado, pero el sábado después de este sábado, o sea, en 15 días, el 30 de abril. Y bueno, este será un Ese será un eclipse parcial de sol, chicos. Entonces, bueno, vamos a comenzar con ese y luego el 16 de mayo vamos a tener un eclipse de luna y con eso serían los dos primeros eclipses que se dan en los signos de Tauro y Escorpión. Entonces, pues sí, la energía y bueno, ahora que pienso acerca de como de las parejas y de la intimidad, pues bueno, sí siento que sí eres, porque bueno, el tema se tocó, ¿no? Sí, eres una persona que está en una relación tóxica, por decirlo así, en una relación donde hay como luchas de poder, bueno, pues créeme que esto va a cambiar. Sí o sí va a cambiar o se va a intensificar. O más bien que cambiar, va a intensificarse tanto que sí o sí va a tener que haber un cambio, ¿cierto? Como que, porque bueno, el eje de Tauro y Escorpión, chicos, y cuando digo eje Tauro y Escorpión, pues me refiero, bueno, que en la astrología, pues tenemos 12 signos, ¿cierto? Y siempre están en el mismo orden de Aries a Piscis y bueno, siempre está dividido en ejes, ¿no? Al menos se divide en dos y eso es parte de lo que es la astrología fundacional cuando dividimos. El número 12 se divide de varias formas, ¿cierto? Primero se divide en dos, después se divide en cuatro, después en tres y bueno, básicamente quedan grupitos siempre de la misma cantidad am, sí, de la misma cantidad de signos. El caso, la primera división que se da, pues es la división de opuestos, ¿cierto? Entonces aquí es cuando se dividen a los 12 signos en dos grupos entre femeninos y masculinos. Entonces, bueno, oh, well, actually, hay que ver porque sí se puede dividir entre femenino y masculino, pero también hay polaridad. Bueno, oh my God, son polaridades. Es que, bueno, esto es un cuento largo, pero básicamente lo que vas a ver en la carta, voy a ver si encuentro aquí un zodiaco para compartirlo y como para que sea más claro, porque es que así he hablado como que no sé, a ver, zodiac will. Hay que a ver si tenemos aquí un ejemplo de lo que es. Tararán, tururutu. A ver. Veamos este que creo que se ve clarito. Vamos a ver. Ok, aquí tenemos un ejemplo de lo que es la rueda zodiacal. Ay, muéstramelo bien. No está bien, no me gusta este. Ay, una chévere, a ver. Ay, esta está chévere. Ay, no me la deja ver grande. ¿La puedo ver grande, por favor? Ay, Dios. No, esta tampoco. Ay, qué padre. Yo no soy muy buena para hacer research, al menos ahí como en vivo, como que no, esas son cosas que hago a solas, pero bueno, vamos a ver una bien chévere, a ver si que se vea grande y bonito, porque es que al parecer como que venden muchos, venden mucho arte de las, bueno, no de la astrología, pero de la rueda zodiacal, todos son puros posters or things that you can buy. A ver, vamos a ver. Ah, A ver si este se ve bonito. Este se ve mejor, creo que sí. Ok, ya. Ok. ¿Ustedes están viendo, chicos? No sé. I don't even know. Ok. Ahora sí vamos a añadirlo. ¿Qué fue ese sonido? What was the sound? What was the sound? Dururú. Ok. Ay, bueno. Bueno, creo que aquí podemos ver un poquito. No me gusta cómo se ve esa ahí, pero bueno, al menos ahí para hacer el punto, chicos. El caso. La astrología, bueno, los signos zodiacales se pueden dividir en dos, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, una de las maneras en que se puede dividir es en signos masculinos y signos femeninos, ¿cierto? Tenemos 6 signos masculinos y 6 signos femeninos, pero también se puede dividir en ejes, ¿cierto? Y cuando decimos eje significa las oposiciones, ¿cierto? Siempre vamos a tener oposición, siempre Aries va a estar opuesto a Libra, siempre Géminis va a estar opuesto a Sagitario, Cáncer va a estar opuesto a Capricornio, a Leo va a estar opuesto a Acuario y siempre no Mercurio, Virgo va a estar opuesto a Piscis. Y en este caso, ahorita mismo estamos lidiando con la oposición entre Tauro y Escorpión, ¿cierto? Entonces, eso es lo que nos referimos como un eje. Sí es una oposición, siempre es una oposición porque es un signo justo enfrente del otro. ¿Y por qué esto es importante? Porque los nodos lunares siempre están opuestos el uno del otro, o sea que los nodos lunares representan un eje. De hecho, es bueno saber cuál es nuestro eje lunar, nodal, ¿cierto? De los nódulos. Por ejemplo, en mi caso, mi eje nodular, es que no sé, nodal, creo que le llaman. Eje nodal es el eje de am, Géminis y Sagitario, porque mis nodos lunares cuando yo nací, pues cayeron ahí en ese signo, ¿cierto? Entonces, si por ejemplo tu nodo norte cae en el signo de Aries, significa que tu nodo lunar es el eje de Aries y Libra. ¿Y por qué es importante saber estos ejes? De hecho, los ejes son, como que cuando comenzamos a entender los ejes, pues aprendemos muchísimo de la lógica astrológica. Porque bueno, cada eje como que se refiere a algo. Por ejemplo, en el caso del eje Aries Libra, pues estamos lidiando con yo, ¿cierto? Aries representa el yo soy y Aries representa el tú eres, ¿cierto? Entonces este es como el eje personal y de relaciones personales, ¿cierto? Relaciones que son muy cercanas a nosotros y de cómo nosotros somos en relaciones, cómo nosotros nos comportamos en relaciones. Entonces, bueno, donde caiga este eje en nuestra carta natal, este eje de Aries y Libra, bueno, pues eso va a significar que estas casas, ¿cierto? Porque van a caer en una casa y si caen en la casa 1, pues va a ser el eje entre la casa 1 y 7. Si caen en la casa 3, pues va a ser el eje entre la casa 3 y 9. Entonces, bueno, básicamente, donde sea que caiga, por ejemplo, este eje Aries y Libra, pues va a representar que hay algo muy tuyo, hay algo que te identifica un montón y que como que de cierta forma tiene que ver con el otro, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, por ejemplo, que te caiga este eje en tu casa 4, pues no significa que tú te identificas con tu hogar, ¿cierto? Y que tu relación, el balance entre tu hogar y tu profesionalidad, pues van a ser cosas importantes para ti o al menos que van a añadir a tu personalidad. Ahora, que ahí estén los nodos lunares, bueno, va a intensificar como esa importancia o esas manifestaciones que sucedan en tu vida, ¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, en este caso a todo esto lo muestro porque, bueno, tenemos los nodos transitando por el eje de Tauro y Escorpión. Y este eje de Tauro y Escorpión es bastante apegado, la verdad. O sea, a Tauro y Escorpión son 2 signos fijos que tienen que ver con poseer, ¿cierto? En Tauro es poseer cosas físicas Ah, y en Escorpión es poseer emociones y a veces poseer a los demás también, ¿cierto? Como que es una energía bastante posesiva, por decirlo así. Este eje entre Tauro y Escorpión es una energía que tiene que ver con obtener y también con dar. También se le conoce como el eje de dar y recibir, ¿cierto? Como en Tauro damos y en Escorpión recibimos. Entonces, tiene mucho que ver con dar y recibir, pero también es como, pues ya llevándolo como un poco más a profundidad y sobre todo cuando es en pareja, bueno, pues ahí estudiamos a quienes tenemos en nuestra vida, quienes nos rodean, quienes son parte de nuestra vida, a quienes les damos en nuestra vida, con quienes compartimos el tiempo, porque de cierta forma Tauro tiene que ver con los valores, con las cosas que nosotros valoramos y las cosas que nos gustan. Entonces es como que, como somos nosotros, si damos eso, si damos lo que nosotros nos gusta, si recibimos lo que nos gusta, si recibimos lo que valoramos. Entonces, bueno, diría yo que este eje es bastante intenso porque tiene que ver con dinámicas de posesión, ¿cierto? De control al fin y al cabo, porque es como que usualmente es como que lo que tenemos porque es nuestro lo podemos controlar, ¿cierto? También se puede ver de la otra forma, ¿no? ¿Quién nos posee? ¿Quién nos controla? ¿Cierto? Es como que es fuerte, es un eje, diría yo, que de los más, de los que más trae problemas, la verdad, porque puede traer, o sea, puede traer mucha satisfacción, o sea, si este eje te cae en, no sé, entre tu casa 5 y 11, bueno, de pronto hay algo más chévere, o en tu casa 3 y 9, como que bueno, está chévere, ¿no? Pero si te cae en un lugar difícil, haz de cuenta por ahí entre, que te caiga entre tus casas 6 y 12 o algo así, wow, como que ya trae muy fuerte. Sí, es fuerte porque, como les digo, chicos, es una energía intensa, es una energía posesiva y cuando no es bien llevada, pues, wow. Y de hecho eso me hace como preguntarme el eje de de Johnny Depp, porque bueno, aquí no, hoy no, pero lo va a sacar ahorita, vamos a ver, Johnny Depp, chart, natal chart. Para que veamos un poquito de porque yo sé que él tiene bastante energía en Tauro. Y bueno, debe ser, o sea, obvio que está súper activo en este momento, la verdad, porque él tiene mucha energía en Tauro. Vamos a ver. Uf, ok, voy a compartir aquí la carta natal de Johnny Depp un poquito para que veamos. Tururú, tutú, tururú, turú. Bueno, el nada más y nada menos que en Tauro, ¿cierto? Que es por donde están en este momento transitando los nodos lunares. am, el nodo lunar norte, bueno, tiene a su medio cielo y tiene a Mercurio y a Venus. Entonces, bueno, tiene dos planetas personales, dos planetas sociables en su casa 10, de hecho, en su casa 10 y en el signo de Tauro. Entonces, es curioso porque de cierta forma Tauro hace que yo ni de qué hablar, ¿no? O sea, porque la casa 10 tiene muchísimo que ver con cómo nos vemos en el público, ¿cierto? Como lo que se ve de nosotros allá afuera. Entonces, bueno, me parece curioso porque Amber Heard es Tauro, su signo solar es Tauro. Y, ¿dónde está? Su signo solar es Tauro y curiosamente pues tiene a Venus en Tauro, o sea que, bueno, sí puedo decir que a Johnny le atrae, ¿cierto? Le atraen esas mujeres taurinas, sensuales, ¿cierto? Porque esa es la energía Tauro, es como sensual, es muy femenina, es bastante femenina y bueno, de pronto eso es algo que le interesa. A ver, ¿qué dices aquí? Being cool. Astrology? Sí, señor. Yes, this is astrology. Yeah, this is astrology. I'm looking right now at Johnny Depp's natal chart. just just for fun. But definitely I can see that he is attracted to Toro ladies, because he's got Venus in Taurus, and Amber is a Taurus. But it's also his Venus is in conjunction with Mercury. And vamos a ver, let's see what house is ruled by Mercury. Well, he's a Gemini, so and he also has the second house, nada más y nada menos, the second house of resources, resources and money, finances. Well, it's in conjunction with Venus. And yes, Venus rules his 10th house, which that's good. But let's see what other house does Venus rule for him, right? Third house. Yeah, third house. So, that's interesting, because the third house represents like communication, also like press and gossip and things like that. So definitely there is like a big gossip, a big press energy that does influence, like has an impact on his professional life. And it involves his money. And actually his money house, he's got Mars in Virgo. Like, that's not great. Like, Mars in Virgo, it's like, it's not like, I will say it's better than Mars in Pisces, but still it's not great. Why not? Because it's like, it represses as well. Like, it's too careful, I will say, and Mars doesn't like that carefulness. Let me see, can you do this for me? Yes, I can. I will need your ascendant sign, and um but do you mean like in a personal, because I can do it, I can like give you some information based on your ascendant sign and your sun and your moon. I can give you some on that if you have that information with you. But I can also give you a full personal reading if that's something you're interested in. There is the link. It says agenda tu lectura personal. That will be the link for my services. It's in Spanish because that's mostly. But if anything, you can follow me on my Instagram, and you can send me an invoice or something, and an invoice. That's not what it is. A direct message, and yeah, that's if that's something that you're interested in. But because yeah, knowing your natal chart is like, it's fun, and it's very useful. But like I say, if you do have that information, your ascendant sign, which is your rising sign, your sun, moon, well, I can give you some information about it based on the transits of today. At least, like, where is Mars, like what is this energy of Mars in Pisces, how is it affecting your personality or something like that. And do you know, is the ascendant sign being cool? Like, do you know these things? Are you, how knowledgeable are you in astrology? Like, do you even know what the ascendant sign is? Because if you don't, then I can explain to you, and start from the very beginning. But basically, what the ascendant signs, well, you say you're Gemini, but this sounds because you're Gemini, like your sun is in Gemini, like you were born between May 20th and June 15th, something like that. But let's see. According to your sun sign, Mars will be doing a sextile to your sun, so it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It will give you some energy. It will give you the opportunity to, like, I don't know, like, gain some momentum on something, like maybe something that is emotional, and you might want to, like, express it somehow. But like I said, that's like only from the perspective of the sun. If you want to know your rising sign, then you will have to go into Google, yeah, or dog.com, wherever search engine you use, and just put natal chart calculator, and you pick whatever option comes by, and you enter your details, time of birth with the minute. It's very important to have the minute. If you have an approximate, you can use it, but I will definitely like advise you to get the minute, the minute you were born, the date, of course, and the place of birth. When you enter those details, you're gonna have like a chart that it looks almost like this one that you see right here, and you're gonna see something like in this software specifically. You see like let me see. He was born in Sunday, June 9th, which makes him a Gemini with the moon in Capricorn and the ascendant in Leo. And it also shows the midheaven. So yeah, that's so once you have that, these three, your sun, moon, and ascendant sign, I can work with that a lot. But of course, we have more planets, right? We have Venus, we have Mars, we have Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. Anyway, it's a whole big deal. So, yeah. Okay. Where are you from? Tulasi in Tamil. Oh my God, where is that? Wow, I never heard of that place. June 3rd. Oh, okay. Well, you're giving me the details here, but no, yeah, that's the homework you have to do. You gotta go in the search engine and get that information, and I will just need the signs. So yeah, yeah. Tulasi, Tamil. Wow, where is Tamil? That is so crazy. It sounds like it's like sounds from like far away. Far away. Um so yeah, chicos, a ver, ¿qué más? Looking at Johnny Depp's just por encimita, right? This is like very superficial because I'm not gonna go super in detail with this, but definitely his second house. He has Mars there, and Mars brings separation. Mars brings confrontation, brings anger, violence. So definitely, I can see here that there is, like, money is like a big deal. It bring like resources bring conflict. Um, Now, like I said, Mars in Virgo is like I said, it's not as bad as Mars in Pisces, but still it does have that essence of like suppressing your anger. Um it's sometimes uptight. It has like that energy of like uptight. So yeah, so maybe like holding on to resources, or I mean, Virgo is a mutual sign, right? Like, so it moves, like it's always like in motion per se. It's always like transiting and all of that. So it feels like transactions with money, like interactions and transactions can bring problem, and very intense problems, because here we have Pluto as well. So that's like, yeah. And Pluto does represent like control issues, like control struggles for control. So yeah, that's very intense with his money, like his money house, like how he makes money. Like, yes, it's definitely good to have Pluto in the second house, because it means you're always gonna have money. Like, it's like money is not gonna be your issue per se. Like, maybe you won't be super rich, like in this case, yes. But maybe you don't have to be super rich, but you always have something, like that's Pluto in the second house. And I do feel that Pluto in Virgo does well. Like, Pluto in Virgo, I do like that energy, because so I guess it's good that Pluto is there. But closer to Mars there is Uranus, and Uranus is crazy. Like, Uranus is like Whack. He just it's intense. So it's all of this is very intense, but it also, I can see why he has so much money. Like, he's so rich. Like, he makes like $1 million a month just for all the movies that he already done. So he's got money. He still has a lot of money. He will always have money, but it does come with some conflict, and it involves his relationships and his um reputation, definitely. Let me see what you got. Give me a link and now you go look for it. I'm sorry. I mean, there are so many. Astro theme, astro.com, like, there's so many. uh Tula, Libra, Shin, Leo. Oh my god, what is this language? Oh my god. So you're Libra, Libra rising or Libra moon. And then you are Leo. Leo ascendant or Leo moon? Because I will say, I believe that your sun is in Gemini. But yeah, let's see what I can do for you since you're here and you're so curious about it. Let me see, sacred plant, basil. Yeah, basil is a sacred plant, definitely. It's protective. Yeah, I love basil. It smells so good. And it is protective. Like, when you put basil like in front of, like, on your front door, it kind of absorbs, like, when, like, the energy of the people that are coming into your house. So yeah, basil is great. It's great and it tastes great. I love basil. Anyway, let's see. So, well, you have sun in Gemini. Let's see, sun in Gemini. I can just tell you something about yourself based on what you just told me, what the information you just gave me. Okay. Sun in Gemini. Okay. I'm not sure if your moon is in Libra or your rising is in Libra. Can you say ascendant? Is this AS or ascendant or rising? If I know. The good thing is that they're two. Oh no. Wow, it's gonna rain. I wanted to go out, but that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because started raining. Okay, let's see. I'm I'm putting you as an ascendant Libra. If you're not an ascendant Libra, then and I'm putting as your moon in Leo. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's go for that. Let's see if you are ascendant Libra, with your sun in Gemini and your moon in Leo. I'll tell you. Well, Libra ascendant. Libra ascendant is a very charming and charismatic energy. You know, it makes you like a very sociable, likable person, and it actually can give you like good looks, right? When Libra is in your ascendant, you can have this, because Libra is ruled by Venus, so it kind of brings beauty and attraction to yourself because of your good looks. So yeah. And it makes you a very sociable person, a person that it's very diplomatic, and it just kind of goes really well with like social life, right? Now, adding that you have the sun in Gemini, if you are ascendant Libra, then your sun will be in the ninth house. That means you're very I will say it's a very charismatic energy, because it will make you like very chatty, like and even witty, like, but also very smart. You know, like people will perceive you as someone that is very smart, and it knows like a lot of things, and it's fun to talk to, and is, you know, it has like a good sense of humor. And you can actually, if your sun is in the ninth house, you can actually be really good at writing and publishing like things in general, like maybe articles or but if you happen to have the moon in Leo, that will make you someone very creative, someone that really needs to create something and wants to be acknowledged for its creativity and its uniqueness. And so there is like a nice opportunity there. You have a nice flow between your moon sign and your sun sign, which will allow you to like express yourself in a way that is polite, that is welcoming, that is charming, but it's also like entertaining, very, very entertaining, and fun, and it makes you a leader sort of thing. Or maybe you need someone to like show you the way sort of thing. Like I will say with the moon in Leo, it's important to have really good models in your life, people that really care about you and they take care of you, and maybe that's something that maybe you couldn't find, yeah, like or maybe it's a need that is hard to fulfill. So it's sort of like you need connection to like a lot of people, to like really like groups of people, and you need that, you need to, and but you also need to find your unique qualities inside a big group of people. So in general, it's really great energy because you will be having a sextile and a trine, like you'll be having like a sextile from your ascendant to your moon and from your moon to your sun, and then a trine between your sun and your rising sign. So that makes it like a very it's nice. It's like easy to get along, easy to understand, easy to be recognized and acknowledge and welcome into like groups of people. So yeah, that's it. That's what I can tell you right now. What would you say? Being cool. I mean, your name kind of says it, being cool. You say wow. I guess that's good. I guess wow means good. Cool. All right. Super. Okay, this was fun. I really like going into these things. But yeah, wow, it's been a long time. I wanted to give some personal messages with tarot, but it's not. You said it's very close. Good. I mean, I still don't know if your ascendant is a Leo or is Libra, but I just kind of went with it. I just kind of went with ascendant Libra. But if you are ascendant Taurus, that will be a different thing. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if you were to be an ascendant Taurus, an ascendant Leo. I mean, it will be funny. You will be just like the ascendant of Johnny Depp. But yeah, if you are yeah, the energy changes, but still good. It changes, but it's still good. It will just it will kind of be a little bit not the same, but it will be more like introspective. It will be more, it wouldn't be so like the energy, like if you are ascendant Libra per se, you will be more like out there, like in public, and more like social out there. But if you are an ascendant Leo, it's like you will be charming, like all of those things will still go, but it will be more energy, like more introspective, like more like with your close friends and with yourself, like not too much like on a big scale, but more like an intimate scale. So yeah, great. I like it. At least I was close. But you see like how much information it can come. So yeah, if you ever want a natal chart reading, um don't hesitate. It will be like a video like this. It will be there for you whenever you need it. But okay, chicos, I'm gonna switch to Spanish because who knows, maybe someone will listen to this in Spanish. But I just want to pull out like three cards. Quiero sacar tres carticas para la energía de Marte en Piscis. I just want to pull out three cards to like describe the energy of Mars in Pisces, which will stay Mars will stay in Pisces until May 24. So, well, into May 24, we're gonna have that maybe resentment energy, but also I forgot to say in the good part, like in the good side, in the good aspect, en un buen aspecto de Marte en Piscis, it can make you a spiritual warrior, like it really can. Te puede hacer como un guerrero espiritual. Porque bueno, Marte tiene esa habilidad como de penetrar. So it allows you to see things really clearly, and to attack where it is painful. It can make you a person that can see like the weakness in other people, so you can just stink it. So yeah. Eso, bueno, ¿qué puede hacer el guerrero espiritual? También puede hacer que como ver la debilidad de otra persona o de algo y como que atacarla así de frente y directo de una vez. So, yeah. No todo es malo, no todo es malo. De pronto que es más malo que bueno, sí, pero bien llevada, como digo, esta energía puede ser de un buen psicólogo, o un buen cirujano, a really good surgeon también. Si es una buena casa, wow, it can make you like a really good surgeon. ¿Por qué? Porque Piscis tiene que ver con la sanación en general y los hospitales y, ¿cierto? Como todas estas energías de enfermedad y de salvar, ¿cierto? Y Marte es como el que va y se arriesga y salva y hace lo que tiene que hacer, ¿cierto? Como que puede, de una buena, bien llevada esta energía, sí puede ser de un muy buen cirujano. ¿Qué dices aquí? Being cool. No, I'm not from Spain. No, I'm from Colombia, a country in South America. But I lived in the United States. So yeah, and I haven't been back in a while to Colombia. Okay, chicos. I have this tarot deck. Tengo este deck de tarot que I haven't used it in a long time, guys. Like I have not used this in so long. Because why? I have to explain. I feel like I want to explain why I haven't used this tarot in so long. Because the lady, what's her name? Kim Kranz, ¿cierto? Esta chica Kim Kranz, la autora de este tarot. I had like a little issue with her, well, obviously I don't know her personally, but I had a small issue with her because I can help it. I have my moon in Aquarius. Tengo la luna en Acuario. I can help it. I always focus on like people's opinions and people's views of the world and things like that. And this lady in particular kind of disappointed me really badly. So long that I honestly I haven't used this tarot in like 2 years. No he utilizado ese tarot en como 2 años de lo decepcionada que estuve de esta señorita Kim Kranz. But I thought, what a better time to kind of let go of that rabiecita, let go of that little anger, and just use the tarot and just kind of like leave that on the side and just know that this is my tarot deck now and whatever. So yeah, pensé, bueno, qué mejor energía para simplemente dejar ir de toda esta, no diría que resentimiento, pero sí es como esas espinitas que le quedan a uno ahí clavadas, que es como que qué pereza. A ver, ¿qué dices por aquí? Oh, thank you, being cool. You're so cool. Thank you for subscribing. That's so great, guys. Yeah. So, yeah. Básicamente, ¿por qué dejé de usar este tarot? Porque, bueno, esta chica en particular tuvo unas opiniones políticas, yes, I'm gonna say it, políticas que no me gustaron para nada y dije, I can't. Pero bueno, ya ahora que pasó el tiempo, ya es como que, okay, I can just get over that. And there is this, saying that is your enemies is better to have them close, right? Tus enemigos es mejor tenerlos cerca. Y yo digo, yeah. Es verdad. The more you know your enemy, and I'm not saying an enemies with this lady. I'm just, just going. But the more you know your opponent, the more advantage you have. Like for reals. Oh no, we're both cool. We're both cool. uh, yeah, but the more you know your enemy, the better for you. That's why I say about astrology and tarot and all those things when people are like, oh, but that's from the devil. Like you shouldn't do this. Like this is bad, and it's like it's not from the devil. Like it is not. It's just what it is. It's human, actually. At the end of the day, it's like human concepts that has been, written and observed and created, but it's human concepts. But what I'm saying is that if you don't know these tools, they're gonna be used against you. Like yes or yes. Like astrology is used against us all the time. Like all the time. So we better know some astrology, like we better learn some, because when we know how it is used against us, then we can protect ourselves and use it for our own good, and protect ourselves. So anyway, rant over. Se acabó el ranting, chicos. Vamos a ver qué mensaje nos tiene Marte en Piscis. Este tránsito de Marte en Piscis para el colectivo. ¡Ah! ¡Wow! Se cayeron. Oh my God, this is good. This is good, guys. I like it already. Tenemos el 9 de copas. This is the 9 of cups. What a beautiful card. And honestly, this deck is so dark. Like the cards are so look at the back. It's so dark. There are a few cards that have color in them, and this is one of them. So this is great news, because the 9 of cups represents wish fulfillment. That's what it represents. So I feel that if we're passionate about what we want, well, it's like it's gonna pay it off, and if we go for it and go for what we want, and we don't let anything distract us, we don't let the negative emotions drown us back, but in fact it's like using the anger, using anything that might be toxic and negative, use it, like transmute it and make it into something that it becomes like our fuel, right? So maybe we need to get angry, maybe we need that, because when we get angry we take action, and I feel that action that we're gonna be taking is gonna bring us great results. It's gonna make a wish come true. So I will say this, to make a wish for our passions, whatever we really deeply desire, that's that the action that we take is really gonna take us closer to what we desire. So that's nice. Let me see what else. Let me see what two more cards and see two more cards. Oh, let's see. The magician, guys. The magician. Nice. It's telling us that we are the creators of our more than the creators, we have all the tools that we need to fulfill our desire. But we just need, I do feel we need like a little kick in the butt. We need like a little determination. We need determination. We need that sensation of not looking back, just going for what we really want. And not in a way that we're just like going over people's feelings or things like that. It's actually something that it's a very emotional feeling, like I will say, if we want to make something that is if we want to manifest something that has to do with no, oh, I forgot how do you say this, empathy, that comes from that empathy for ourselves and for other people. It's a very empathic energy that can give us the full. So what I'm feeling is, if we feel angry because of a sense of injustice, like in general in the collective, and that give us like that anger, we can use it to make something happen, to make a change. So it's nice because it's a lot about empathy. Like if we suffer with other people, like if we see the suffering of other people and we are indignated with that, we can use that feeling to fuel or desire and or motion to go, to like go for things. So let's see. Last card for the end. Oh my goodness. Wow, chicos. Nah, it's so good. I mean, the Ace of Cups. I mean, this is beautiful. I love the energy. I love the energy because it feels like we want to create something that it's beneficial for us. Like like you were saying, being cool. Like it's not fake anymore. It's just real. Like we want the real thing, and we're probably gonna be disappointed, but that disappointment is gonna lead us to what we really, really, really want, and it's gonna show us really clearly. Okay, this is what you don't need anymore. This is this kind of people or this kind of energy, or this is what we don't need anymore. What we need is clarity of our feelings. But because when we are clear in our feelings, when we are in connection with our soul and with our intuition, then we can take great decisions, the best decisions for ourselves, and we can create from that amazing things that will not only benefit us, but it will benefit everyone around us. So it's such a beautiful energy, guys. Like wow, I really love it. Like I feel this transit of Mars in Pisces is telling us that we can construct, like we can manifest very beautiful things. Oops. As long as we are clear and in connection with our intuition. It's very important to listen to our feelings, listen to our body, listen to our intuition, and act from that, knowing from inside, per se. So it's very beautiful. I hope, my God, my English is. I've been speaking so much Spanish lately that my accent has thickened in a way that is like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, I hope this message, this reading was helpful to you. Thank you, being cool, for being here, for being so cool, for sticking with me all this time in Spanish or in English. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, really looking forward to continue sharing with you guys. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. my time here, United States, Connecticut. That would be the time of New York. So yeah, I'll be here, and we will have some more personal messages. Definitely tomorrow we'll have more personal messages. So yeah, let's enjoy that. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye bye.